All right, so you all arrive for the 4 p.m. shift at Homebrew Coffee Shop on Selduth Street in Waterdeep, and you see the clouds have since dissipated of the skywrite about how the other place kills bears, and you should come to your shop instead. So now you see that outside of the coffee shop, the sandwich board, there's a new one. The previous one was incinerated and stolen. This new one is there, and it says something along the lines of like, seriously though, bean juice, leaf water, so much better, but also come to the tea shop. Don't go across there. They're crazy. It's like stream of consciousness writing on this sandwich board. Things have apparently been a little shaken up over the past little bit. So you guys all walk in to the Homebrew Coffee Shop, and you see something you're not familiar with, a brand new, beautiful mahogany table. Prime real estate in the center of the shop, equidistant from the fire, from the bathrooms, from both the bar and the coffee counter and the exit. Ideal place. You see an older gentleman in the corner with a stack of papers, writing. You see a young, maybe in her mid-20s, very bubbly, very chipper girl sitting behind the bar as a bartender. You see Ned, who you recognize, standing sort of just surveying the scenario. Large greatsword in one hand, glass of scotch in the other. He's scorched and burnt. Most of his flesh is gone. His hair is incinerated. He looks like a mess, but he's hanging in there, as he is wont to do. And I will go through and we'll describe everybody here. I saw there was a big donation just came through, so we'll get to that in just a sec. But Becca, why don't you go ahead and just tell me the name of your character and their race and class so that everybody knows, not just me. And I know you guys all may have posted this, and I looked at it when you posted it, and then I forgot immediately afterwards.
Great. So her name is Minerva Spoeman. Okay. And she is a human celestial warlock.
A human warlock. And if I remember, it's Becca Eckert, at Becca Eckert.
Correct.
Great. Becca Eckert. Awesome. All right, Axel, what about you? I think you're muted currently.
Yeah, I have to click Zoom before I can push the talk button.
Gotcha.
My character is Frekos Vrimir, but everybody just calls him Jitters. He is a half-drow summoner.
Okay.
And he gets his name Jitters because he has a hard time socializing with people until he's drank some coffee.
Gotcha.
He kind of loosens up a lot.
Okay. All right. And again, to put that out there, some people have been playing homebrew classes, homebrew races. All of that is pretty much fair game, whatever people wanted to play. If you don't know, Axel does a lot of that stuff. So we're playtesting a new class. So we'll see how that goes.
It's actually still a work in progress, so look forward to that.
Yes. Now, should I call you Drop the Die? What should I call you? Let me get that out of the way.
JB's fine.
JB? All right.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah, it's good to meet you too. We've interacted a bunch on Twitter. So why don't you go ahead and tell me the name of your character and all that?
Today I will be playing a 6'1" copper dragonborn named Mr. Roger Beauclerk.
Oh, jeez. All right.
He goes by Beauclerk with a hyphen between Beau and Clerk, if you please, sir.
All right, and he is a dragonborn gunslinger, if I recall.
Gunslinger.
Great. Fits perfectly in with the cast of characters we've had thus far. All right, and Mac, what about you?
I'm playing Kellum Fabel. He's an Eladrin Bard.
Eladrin Bard, that's right. That I do remember. Yeah. All right.
The only two cool characteristics about him is that all his head is shaved except for a huge long braid that goes down to about his waist, and his eyes are spiraled.
Okay. Very cool. So, you guys all walk into the shop. There is still small remnants of what looks like some ashes on the floor in spots, and there may be little spatters of blood, possibly red liquid, grenadine, maybe, who knows? Stuff is about on the floor. Go. Oh, thank you, Speedy, for staying on top of my grammar. All right. So before we get to that, there's some things we have to deal with. A bunch of things. Oh no. Okay. So let's get a couple of things out of the way. First of all, you guys all walk in to your shift. You're actually joined by another NPC who also works here, and his name is Hunter, and he is about 17, and he desperately wants to be a musician. So he is kind of that stereotype teenage guy who works in a coffee shop, wants to become a musician, thinks maybe that it's a good idea if maybe you do music nights and open mic nights so he can try to show off his prowess here at the shop. And he'll do register, cashier stuff, or he can make coffee. That's it. So you guys all walk in, and Ned will kind of address you all and tell you a couple of things that have gone on. He tells you, hope you didn't have any friends on the morning shift. They're either dead or fired. And he says it's been a hectic day, and he just looks like a mess. And he's like, but Minter is coming. And he looks to the sign that just says Markness with black splotches on it. And he's like, if one of you could make a new sign to show that we have these new peppermint products, that would be ideal. And he says, at the moment, we have a new bartender in, what's your, and she says, Princess Penelope Periwinkle. And he says, Penny, we're going to call her Penny. She's our new bartender. We do still need security. If anybody can find or thinks they can work, although you're all only here for your 3-hour shift, we could use someone else to do security. Things have gotten crazy, and had Bosco been a little bit better at security, we might not have had as many issues as we did this morning. So, with that being said, a couple of people have trinkets. So let's get those. Mac, I believe you have a trinket. I would like you to please roll me a percentile. As he's like, you guys are kind of going about, and he's having you straighten up and sweep up things and just pick up the remnants of previous customers that are gone.
44.
44. You find. Okay, so you find. It doesn't make, like, what is this doing here? You don't know. But you find this stick. Maybe it was a bone, maybe it's just covered in dust, and it actually looks. And this is a wand. Okay? This is a wand of conducting. A wand of conducting that somehow, some way, you know that Tchaikovsky used this in his final and most epic performance. This is the wand that he used to conduct that final performance. What's it doing here? Some old lady was using it as a knitting needle. You don't know why, but it's here, and now it's yours, because maritime rules apparently take place in this shop. And in the process of this, Minerva, I would also like you to make a percentile roll, as Renee donated to get you a trinket. So
To win.
let's see.
62.
62. Oh boy. So you find apparently a very common thing here in Waterdeep and also in this shop. Amidst the pieces, you find a small, diminutive, black-fanged skeletal manservant who is completely beholden to you, and his name is Barry.
Barry!
And
Love it.
Yeah, and he is yours. Also, as you all are cleaning things up, you see that the little old ladies who were usually here, which again, you're also surprised, where are Betty, Mary Lou, Hazel, and Jane? They were almost always here at this time playing bridge, taking up prime real estate at the best table, and they're not here. You also don't see Miriam, although there is still remnants of half of a finished sweater and one other knitting needle that's not a wand of conducting in the middle of the floor, because nobody picked that up either. So that's still there. But you guys go to pick up and clean up, and unfortunately, or fortunately for you, they left their deck of cards on the table. A very special deck of cards, mind you. And I would like all of you to tell me how many cards you'd like to draw from their bridge deck that they left on the table while I go get a deck of cards, because it's a deck of many things, y'all. Let's figure out that.
Oh, Jesus.
No. No. I know someone who once drew like 15 cards from
Oh
it.
my god.
It was real bad.
I think when I did this last year, they drew like 4 and got death.
Now it's really an adventure, and it's really a charity stream.
Oh god.
So, I'll let you decide who wants to go first as you draw from this deck of many things, and how many cards you would like to draw. The way this works is when a charity donation like this when this happens, you have to draw at minimum 1. You can draw, I think a deck of many things is as many as you want. So this is the full deck of many things. You tell me how many you'd like to draw and who would like to pick first, and we will see what happens. It is what it is. If you guys, I don't think any of you are coming back for a later shift, so we're fine. So there you go. Who would like to draw first?
So it's fine if we just die.
Well, what I mean is, like, if a second deck came up in a later shift, you only have to draw the first time it appears.
Got it.
Okay. Who wants to jump into the volcano first?
Mr. Roger Beauclerk.
All right, Mr. Roger.
He looks around and sees everything disheveled. Oh, what's this? Seems like a deck of cards. I love playing cards. Anyone want to poke a hand? And he draws 5 cards.
Oh, Mr. Beauclerk, this may be a short ride for you, good
I got
sir.
another NPC. We're fine.
All right, let's see. So, first card. I didn't take... All right, here we go. So, you draw a card. You pull the Vizier card, Mr. Beauclerk. Anytime you choose within 1 year of drawing this card, you can ask a question in meditation and mentally receive a truthful answer to that question. Besides information, the answer can help you solve a puzzling problem or other dilemma. In other words, the knowledge comes to you with the wisdom of how to apply it. So you have basically metagame breaking. What do you want to know? I will tell you. So, that is that. Once drawn, it fades from existence. Next card drawn. Okay, the Deuce of Diamonds. Okay. You know, Mr. Beauclerk, if you single-handedly defeat the next hostile monster or group of monsters you encounter, you will gain a level. There's that. Otherwise, no effect. King of Hearts. You are proficient in persuasion, good sir, and your proficiency bonus is doubled while you use persuasion. In addition, you have gained the rightful ownership of a small keep somewhere in this world. It is currently in the hands of monsters, what you must clear out, but once you have done, that keep is yours and yours forever.
Gosh.
You are on a roll, my friend.
Damn.
I'm gonna not exist in another card, so it's fine.
Reality's fabric unravels, let me make sure I say this right, and spins anew, allowing you to avoid or erase one event as if it never happened. You can use this card's magic as soon as you draw the card or at any other time before you die. And the Two of Hearts. You're on a roll here, dude. This is insane. Which also means sorry for the rest of you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you freaking kidding me? Seriously? Also, good sir, 25 pieces of jewelry worth 2,000 gold pieces each appear at your feet! And you have drawn 5 cards from the deck of many things.
Is happening?
How much are the gemstones?
So basically, you have 50,000 gold pieces right now.
50,000. I gotcha. I guess I win. I scoop them up and put them in my bag.
So as basically, you've got for your poker hand, you've got 2 pair, 2 aces, two twos, and a king as your high card. Not a bad poker hand.
No, not at all.
Damn.
All right, well, Minerva, Jitters, and Kellum, that leaves you guys each with a pick of how many cards you wish. That's up to you.
Minerva sees the jewels falling at Beauclerc's feet.
Yep.
Like, hey, let me go over there and I'll grab a card for myself. She's gonna grab one card.
Just one card?
One card.
Okay, Jack of Hearts. Jack of Hearts. All right. Bursting in the door at this moment comes a man. A man in blue armor. A man in blue plate mail armor with curved horns up off the top of his head. Set at his side is not a sword, not a shield, but a shovel. And he walks in right up to you and he says, "Hello, Miss Minerva. I am Shovel Knight. I am here to serve you until I die or you find someone better."
Great, join the team. I already have this. This is Barry. Barry, this is Shovel Knight.
And he
Please
says,
get
"Barry,
on
it is wonderful to meet you, good sir. May I shake your hand?" And he shakes the little hand of Barry.
I think we found security.
All right, Kellum, Jitters.
So Kellum sees all this happening and shrugs and just goes over and picks up 2 cards.
All right. That's no... We're getting there. Uh-oh. Joker. Does this one... Nope. Congratulations, good sir. You gain 10,000 experience points and a level.
Holy crap.
You can draw 2 additional cards beyond your declared cards if you so choose.
So I'm now up 6.
Do you choose to do that?
No, I'll just draw the
Just
last
stick with the last card?
Just go with the last card.
Alright, 10s are not part of that. Jack of Spades. Uh-oh. Jack of Spades. Okay. That'll come into play later. And Jitters.
Alright. Well, since everybody else has been messing with this deck, but nobody's cleaned it up, Jitters is going to walk over there and kind of scrub the table down real quick and knock like 3 cards off the top of the deck. Be like, oh, no, no.
So is that 3?
Yes.
Oh boy. Alright. Queen o' Spades. Alright, what is that? The card's Medusa-like visage curses you. You have a -2 penalty on saving throws while you are cursed. Only a god or the magic of the fates card can undo this.
Oh boy. So -2, you said?
-2 to all saving throws. Yes, sir. All forms of wealth that you carry or own other than magic items are lost to you. Portable property vanishes, businesses, buildings, and land you own are lost in a way that alters reality the least. Any documentation that proves you should own something lost to this card also disappears. You, sir, have your job at the coffee shop and nothing else.
Huh.
And the other Joker... You lose 10,000 experience.
Oh boy.
But it can't drop you to below the level that you're currently at, so nothing happens there. You stay where you're at. You do have the opportunity to draw from the deck again, if you so choose.
Gaining another curse is probably enough, so we're gonna just...
Stop there.
And like I said, he's gonna pick up the deck and actually go put it in the Lost and Found.
Okay. It's significantly smaller as this many cards have disappeared from the deck. But yeah, you go put it in the Lost and Found, and somewhere, metaphysically, people are wondering, and metagamingly, the old ladies played bridge with this deck? Those are some badass old ladies. How'd they die from Force Lightning?
They're so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we have it, folks. $900 donated at the moment. If we hit 1150 or 1100, everybody gets a level, and Mac has to level up a second time.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, see, when you see that name Benzyme in yellow appear in the chat, look out, folks. He's the notorious Deck of Many Things donator from years of past, so you never know what'll happen. Also, very big shout out to Craig, Nerdburger Craig, because I've been using your Capers cards, because these are the cards I had closest to me. Alright, so, that being said, all of this happens in the matter of an instant.
Oof.
And now it's time to start your shift. I don't know if anything has changed as all of this goes on. What is everyone up to now that this craziness has gone down?
Well, Jitters is actually proficient in brewer's supplies, so he's gonna go straight to the beans and start checking on the coffee and see how it's brewing. And everything
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, you can make me a brewer's tools check. I guess that would be intelligence, you think? Or
Not
tell me
really.
how he checks on it. Tell me what...
Never used it, so.
I mean, well, you tell me. If you think that his knowledge of this is more intelligence-based, we'll go with that. If it's something else, go with that.
Okay.
Or wisdom, whichever makes more sense to you.
Yeah, I'd say he more or less feels it because he's very much a consumer of it, so he kind of knows when it's in that good spot.
Okay.
Using wisdom, he's got 19.
Okay, yeah. So the beans seem to be in pretty good shape. They seem like they are... None of the beans are spoiled. The new coffee grinder that you guys notice when you walk in, the new coffee grinder is doing an excellent job. It grinds them just fine enough that they're not too fine that they go through the filter, but they're not chunky, so you're wasting beans, which is ideal. So you're getting the most bang for your buck on this. So that's a good thing. And everything seems to be like the way things were roasted. They're locally roasted. You don't roast them here at the shop. The local roaster seems to be doing a good job on that as well. So things seem to be going well with the coffee itself, the way things are brewing, the way things taste. And obviously you guys know, as you work in the shop here, coffee, you're free to pour yourself or make yourself whatever kind of drinks you want. That's kind of part of the gig, right? No issue there. Alcohol is another story. If you ask other shifts that's on the house, you guys would know that it's not. Now that you seem to have a slightly competent bartender, possibly, you don't know. She just started. And she touts herself as a princess, so whatever that means. So that all happens. You see Norman over there in the corner writing his novel. And he's pretty much the only person in the bar at the moment. And Ned looks to you all, and he does say, well, if you're indeed going to use Shovel Knight as security, then we've solved the security problem as well. Things are... And he says, I have a good feeling about this. And he takes the peppermint stick out of his mouth and drinks a little scotch and puts the peppermint stick back in his mouth. And he says, things are really looking up. Minter is coming, and we seem to be well prepared. But somebody needs to make me a better sign, because I don't know what Markness is.
I got the sign.
Alright, so you can make me a performance check or something along those lines to make, and then describe to me, well, let's see what you roll, and then describe to me what this looks like.
That's going to be a 21.
Okay, tell me what it looks like.
It is just a decorative sign with like peppermints in the corners.
Mhm.
And because I've been watching the stream, I have what I wrote on it right here. So here we go. Coffee gets you through the day. Tea belongs down in the bay. That's right. Throw it in the sea. That's where those dirty leaves need to be. Come to Homebrew and grab a cup. Caffeine to lift your spirits up. There is no need to squint. That's right. We use all kinds of mint in our coffee. That is great. Don't be a tea drinking reprobate.
Yes.
I will grant you inspiration for that poem, good sir. So you can take inspiration to re-roll a roll of your choice whenever you see fit. And that was perfect. And Ned is like, this is what I'm talking about. This is good. People will now know. And he's like, I have no beef with Bob and his tea shop, but apparently he has it with us, with his coy little passive-aggressive sandwich boards. So if he wants a tea versus coffee war, then we will give him a tea versus coffee war. And this is step one. And he looks out at the sign and he says, Minter is coming, and no one likes peppermint tea. And he will go back into the back office and shut the door. At which point, you guys are hanging about, and you see, like a kid in, he's probably 16, 17 years old, and him and like a group of other friends come into the bar. So it's probably about 6 kids total. They all kind of come into the shop at the same time. And like, you're not like, I mean, things are different nowadays in Waterdeep. Kids are in their mid to late teens and they're like going in to get lattes and coffee. Whether or not that's a good move for kids of this age to have that much caffeine. And so they all come up to the counter and they're asking for, and like, it seems like they just, like, they don't like coffee in the taste of, like, they want it with like a ridiculous amount of cream and a ridiculous amount of sugar and pumps of different types of things. So like, they want this because of what it does to them caffeine wise, not because they enjoy the taste of coffee. And basically they're all spitting out orders at the same time. So I need to know who's going to be behind the counter dealing with these and what the plan is for who's going to be making it, who's going to be working it, and what's going on.
Well, Jitters is already at the coffee machine. He's been making coffee for all the employees because he probably knows what all their orders are. So he's making them one to get them to go to start this shift.
Good, okay.
He'll probably just keep making stuff if somebody else takes the orders.
Okay.
Cool. I think Minerva would go up to the counters and be like, hold your horses, hold your horses. How many ears do I have and how many voices are talking? One at a time, everyone. Please line up.
And they will like, they're young teenage punks, so they're like, they don't line up, they just sort of crowd around, but they will give you them one at a time and not like in the order they're standing, just like coming at you, but multiple, like they'll say it and then as soon as one finishes it, the next one will say theirs. So, you know what? We haven't actually dealt too much with people dealing with the actual events of this. So why don't you go ahead and make me an intelligence check to see if you can remember all of the orders.
All right. Oh my gosh. It's a
Okay.
bad day. That was a nat one, you guys.
All right. So you get a mixture of different things, Jitters. You get some things that make sense, like in what is like a coffee drink. And then there's some that are just like, you're like, all right, and you just make it. And it doesn't like, some of them are like, okay, this guy just wants like a latte with like 3 sugars and cream. And then there's one where they're like, and this guy wants a cherry? Do we even have cherry? And you like look over at the bar and there's like a bottle of grenadine, whatever, sure. So you're mixing these things that some of them don't make. There's coffee in all of them, but who wants what and what degree, it's all over the place. But during this, as this is going on, Callum, you have made your sign and it looks great and Ned is pleased. But during this, what are Callum and Bo Clark doing?
I'm probably just gonna go behind the counter and just watch just the horrible things happen with these children.
Okay, and
Because
Mr.
of the
Beauclerk.
Mr. Beauclerk is cleaning up this horrible mess that's left everywhere.
Great.
Is there blood on this table? Scrape, scrape.
Yeah. There is some blood, yeah. Also, I should have pointed out, and that was a good point. Thank you, Laura, for reminding me. Too late now, but everybody has at least one reroll of a natural 1 that was granted. So
Next
everybody
time.
has that for one reroll. So we'll keep
Not worth it
that's
to remember names. That's
That's
fine.
so you've got that, and as this is happening, they are all sitting there saying all these different orders, all in rapid fire, and I need Kellum to make me a perception check.
Perception. 14.
Okay. All right, so you and let's see, Jitters and Minerva are very busy in what they're doing. I'll let Beauclerk make me a perception check as well, at disadvantage because you're focused.
Beauclerk is not the most perceptive regardless. That is an 11.
Gotcha. Okay. So the kids get their coffee drinks, which are not like 1 out of 6 got what they wanted. The other ones got like
Cups are all written wrong. Like they didn't give names, so they're all just like hoodlum, punk, etc. in Undercommon.
great. I love it. Does anybody here speak Undercommon other than Jitters? Cool. So I don't think anybody else gets it, but you do, and it's a fun little joke for you. And they all get them, and like some of them like they don't want it. They just like throw it right in the garbage, and like they don't seem to care, and then they just walk out. Minerva, you can make me a perception check.
22.
That's good enough. You notice 2 things. 1, your tip jar and the tips in it is gone, and these little punks have stolen a handful of most of the coins out from behind the counter while you were distracted with what was going on. Also, makes sense the fact that they didn't actually care with what their drinks were, and you look out the window and you see them taking off running.
Shovel Knight!
All right, so Shovel Knight's like, yes, ma'am, what can I do for you?
Get those punks and get our money back non-lethally, of course.
And he's like, of course, I'm not some kind of savage child murderer. And he kicks open the door and he says, hoodlums! And he runs clink, clink in his plate mail after them. What about the rest of you?
Should we really send him by himself? Should we send someone to monitor him?
Jitters is gonna run out the front door behind him and cast Conjure Animals and summon 8 giant wolf spiders and send them after him. As well.
You guys watch as he runs out and Jitters summons from seemingly nowhere a cavalcade of giant wolf spiders. And this horrifying scene, you hear screams in the street as people are ducking into alleyways, as this army of spiders is just jittering, legs creaking down the street as in following this blue armored man with horn helm and shovel, pointing and chasing after these group of kids who are now running even faster because there's an army of spiders chasing them down the street. And yeah, anything else that I need to know about, folks?
Beauclerk is sweeping, and he sweeps over next to the bar, just kind of into the frame, and reaches in his pocket and drops one of those gemstones into the tip jar. And says, "You're all doing marvelous work."
2,000 gold in gems into the tip jar.
Get the money in the cash register. Insurance will cover that.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. These kids are running. I guess I need you to make me a. We'll go with a perception check for the spiders as they're chasing down these children. As once they see this, they all start to scatter off in 6 different directions. These kids, these hoodlums. Survival. Go survival, yeah. These kids, seemingly this may not be the first store they've robbed. They know scatter were harder to catch, but there's also like 8 spiders and a knight chasing them. Perhaps this will be the time they get caught. So I'll make a survival check for Shovel Knight. Natural 20 for Shovel Knight. He is the best of us, Shovel Knight.
That's my boy.
And the spiders have what?
I'm gonna roll for the whole group of spiders.
You could just roll for you could just roll for the whole group, and we'll count it.
Each other, kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll give them We'll make me a roll with advantage, and this will kind of apply to all of the spiders.
Okay, then so 21.
Okay. So yeah, between the spiders and Shovel Knight, you watch as from the spiders. Actually, did you see through the spiders' eyes, or you just know where they're going? How does that work?
It's the conjure animal spell. So
Okay, so yeah, you just sent them off, so you don't know. That's fine. So, eventually, after about a half an hour of being gone, you watch as these spiders with webbing and Shovel Knight with one like kind of like bindled over his shovel with spider silk come walking back with all 6 of these hoodlums, like struggling amidst the webs. Some of them are a little being irritated by the hair on the abdomens of these giant spiders. And
Welcome to Homebrew. Saving their dragons.
And Shovel Knight takes the shovel summarily off his back, and as he's doing it, the shovel blade cuts through the webbing that was tying it to the blade, but not the webbing tying the hoodlum up. And he drops to the floor, spins the shovel around, point down, and says, "Miss, as requested, myself and the army of spiders have returned with the hoodlums who have stolen from us."
Good job, Shovel Knight. Good job. And I pat him on the shoulder.
And he's like, "Thank you, miss. This is all I could have ever asked for. Your appreciation does wonders for my self-esteem."
You're a joy and a pleasure.
And he's like, "What should we do with them?"
Shake the money loose, I guess.
And he's like, "As you wish." And he picks them up and just starts shaking the kids. And the coins start falling out. And he seems to be very strong. And it's not much of a challenge for him to just pick these kids up, turn them upside down, and shake them. And like coins fall out, like a half-used pack of cigarettes falls out, a lighter. There's a glass pipe that falls out, hits the ground, and shatters. A couple of vials of different things. A flask that seems to be about half full of some liquid. And as he goes through, and you find all of the coins from the tip jar and the register, as well as this other group of like paraphernalia. There's like a pen knife, like an inkwell with no ink in it, a signet ring from someone, maybe someone important, maybe not. Yeah, a mixture. There are some different things. There's like a little packet that's stamped with a logo and a name tied to it that says Professor Cornelius Johnson.
God. Kellen will just go over and start gathering all the coins.
All right. You have all of the coins that respect, and you do notice that you're like, this was a good shift to work, because there's a 2,000 gold gem in the tip jar. So
Yeah.
True.
Now, why don't you all go home and apologize to your mothers? I bet they're heartbroken by your choices.
All right. So they're like very clearly both physically and mentally shaken by this whole encounter, whether it be by Shovel Knight's hand or the fact that like they will have terrifying death dreams of spiders chasing them for years to come.
Good.
We're letting them go. Okay, I was gonna let the spiders have them, but that's fine too. That works.
And like the kids are like, and the spiders are like,
Keep that in mind next time you try to steal something.
and the kids like they just book it out of there. And the spiders are all still in the shop now. And you see
This is
Norman.
cast,
Norman takes he looks and he starts writing feverishly on the piece of paper, watching this all happen.
yeah. Genesis casts speak with animals as a ritual. It is now talking to the spiders, congratulating him and petting him and stuff.
And you watch as this half drow is there, speaking in a language of chitters and clicks to these spiders who seem to be bristling up under it, petting, and it's strange, right? You don't really think that this is a thing affectionate spiders, but perhaps you're stereotyping, and the fact that he's half drow, you don't know, but it seems to be working, and they seem to be enjoying this.
Is this racist?
Mate, yeah, I don't know. He's this half drow who summoned a bunch of spiders. You tell me.
Kellum's an elf too. He just assumes drow spiders make sense.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And Norman is just and you hear a whisper from the corner as he's writing, "This is gold," as he continues to write down on his sheafs of paper, and he pulls out several new sheets and continues to write. And he's like, "Yes, children, hard, giant spiders. Great. This is good stuff."
Don't forget Shovel Knight and his miraculous apprehension of these criminals.
And he's like, yes, Shovel Knight. And you see he's writing, pantomiming writing about Shovel Knight. There's not actually any ink to paper. So as this is happening, because the internet likes to do this kind of thing to you guys, you feel the ground shake, as though a tremor, an earthquake of some kind. Seems strange and out of place. And then it picks up again, and the whole building shakes, and dust settles off from the ceiling, and Norman looks about, and he's like, and he keeps writing this is good stuff. What is going on?
Just dives under a table in case the cave collapses.
All right.
Kellum would like to look at a cup of coffee and just watch the ripples.
Yeah, you do see
My word, I think I've slept too hard.
and then a third set, and it seems like the ripples are getting, and the ripples in the coffee cup and the vibrations in the ground are intensifying, as though whatever is causing this is approaching with some speed. And at this point, you watch as inside or right outside the door, because I'm not going to destroy the shop even more, so the next shift has to do nothing but fix the shop again. A creature erupts from the ground underneath it. It bursts out, and it is a large carapaced creature with large digging claws, an open beak-like mouth, and it is the strangest sight you've ever seen. You, as people who live in Waterdeep and live in the Forgotten Realms and who have made it to level 5, so you know things about adventurings, are no stranger to bullets. This is not a thing you haven't heard of before, but what is strange to you is the coloration of this creature. It is striped. How strange. And it is striped in 2 or 3 colors. As you look at it, the light shines upon it, and it is 3 striped colors repeating of red, green, and white. And it's sniffing the air. And it sniffs, and it looks to the tea shop, and it looks to the coffee shop, and it rolls for the coffee shop. So it sticks its head inside it, and you see it looks over, and you guys see your stockpile of peppermint, and it makes a beeline for that into the shop, moving and destroying things. I would like everybody to roll for initiative, please.
Jeez.
This is what happens when people donate random encounters, folks.
Yes.
Jitters. All right, Minerva.
13.
13. Beauclerk.
23.
23. Jitters.
Rolled a natural 20.
18.
18. And Kellum.
23.
Jeez, guys. This is a... I need a clever name, chat, but this is either a peppermint, candy cane, bullet. Somebody come up with a clever name for it, and that's what we'll call it. And this thing has an 8. But no one is surprised because it took the time to come inside. So I'm going to guess that Beauclerk has the higher dexterity. So Beauclerk, you are up first. You see this thing walk in, causing minor destruction as its feet slam into the floor. And it's got like a hungry look on its face as it approaches the counter. And you see it looking, and it seems like it's going for your stockpile of peppermint, which, as you know, is the new thing that's going to help to put Homebrew on the map. The new peppermint mocha lattes.
So Beauclerk says, "No, get out of here, shoo!" And he holds up the broom, and as it's going kind of past him straight toward the peppermint, "You should listen to your elders." And then he pulls the trigger on the broom. I'm going to, like, all of the hay at the end of the broom just blasts off as this blunderbuss goes off. I'm going to try and shoot it and at least try to scare it back out of this place.
All right, let's see it.
That is a 17, 10 plus 7.
That is the magic number, good sir.
Hey.
Damn.
11 points of damage.
All right, 11 points. This thing seems shocked as you guys hear this cacophony of a sound that I don't think any of you have ever heard before, as this puff of smoke and gunpowder goes off in the shop, and you see Ned peer out, like he opens up the back door and sees this, and he sits the sword in and he says, "Minter is here." And he swings around the sword to point up. And Ned's gonna roll initiative. All right. So Ned is also now in the initiative order. Anything else? It seems to be now it's taken note of you, Beauclerk. Do you have anything else? I believe you have a second attack and things like that.
I do. The blunderbuss requires me to reload, so I will be ready to do that on my next turn. I'm going to position myself between it and the peppermint going, "Oh, no!" Loading the blunderbuss as quickly as I can.
All right. Well, that happens. Next up on the list is Kellum.
Kellum is going to jump over the counter and pull his fiddle out and cast Phantasmal Force on the bootleg.
Okay. And that's an intelligence saving throw, I believe.
That's an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, no. That's a... Holy cow, that's a 4.
No, he fails that.
Yeah, I'm going to guess.
And the 10-foot object is going to be a metal cage with spikes pointing inwards at it.
Okay, so it imagines that it is now inside this metal cage with spikes. And remind me, does the damage happen now or on its turn?
Each round on your turn, it's 1d6 psychic damage.
Okay, cool. So I will keep that in mind on its turn. That was your action. Anything else?
Not really, just be ready.
Okay.
Great job, K-pop!
All right. Next up is Jitters.
All right, I'm assuming this thing's still trucking.
It stops moving. You don't know why. Like it's looking about. What are you gonna cast?
Infestation.
Ah, okay. All right, and that's a save, right, for me?
That's a con save.
Con save. Okay.
Just spiders appear all over its skin and start biting it.
That is a 22 as its con save. Does it take half damage? I forget how that works. Or is it a cantrip? I forget.
It's saved. It was a cantrip, so it doesn't do damage.
Ah. Brulette is pretty good for the chat. Brulette is pretty good. Does it take half damage?
No, it's a cantrip. It doesn't do any if they save. But I'm also going to move towards the peppermint basket or whatever it was.
Okay. You are over there as well.
So if I get to it, I'm just gonna kind of like grab it and start to move it towards the door.
Okay. All right. You see that it is like following. It's not happy that it just got shot, but it is like seems to be tracking you as you're moving this with it. All right, and that's it for your turn, right, Jitters? All right, then it's Ned's turn, and he moves up with his sword that he unsheathes for the first time that you've ever seen, and it is a red and white striped blade that looks like a candy cane that's sharpened to a point. And he says, "Enough of this! Have at you!" And he brings the sword down on this brulette, as we're calling it. Natural 20 for Ned, right out the gate.
Damn.
Ned, good old Ned, finally showing his true colors and rolling like complete garbage, but on the damage side. So that is 7 on 4d6, folks. 7. Plus 4 is 11 points. So then he will attack a second time with a 23. 3 plus 4 is 7. Great. Good job, Ned. You had a chance to look like a badass, and you are failing. And he makes a third attack for an 18. And he will deal 11 points. All right. So that is Ned's turn. Then, after Ned, is Minerva.
Perfect. So, prestidigitation, I can only make things taste a certain way. It can't also smell a certain way. It doesn't exactly say. Chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for an hour.
Prestidigitation. Let's see. I forget. It does have like a. It says you can create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect, such as a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint music, or an odd odor. So I will let that work.
Okay, cool. So if I want to make something taste and smell,
Sure.
I have to cast it twice. Cool. So I'm gonna grab. Is there like a small, like trash can?
Yeah, why not?
Perfect. I'm gonna grab the small trash can.
Mhm.
Seeing that's going for the peppermint, I'm gonna make it smell like peppermint
Mhm.
and taste like peppermint, and then I'm gonna. Well, I guess throwing's an action, huh?
Yeah.
Then on my next turn, I'm gonna throw it.
Okay. All right.
But I start like waving it, like.
And it like looks between you and Jitters, like what is the true best source of peppermint? It's not sure. It seems confused. It also thinks it's trapped inside a spiked cage. Let's see. No new donations yet. Okay, cool. So then it is the Ballette's turn, and it can make an investigation check as an action to try and break out of this. So that is what it's going to do. That is a 10. So its intelligence is at a -4, so it's not doing so great.
No.
And it takes a d6 psychic damage, or it perceives as piercing damage, and you can go ahead and roll that d6 right now.
6.
Wow, all right. So it takes that, and it doesn't move, but it's thrashing about, looking at both of you. You guys don't know why it's not moving. And it's like, what's going on? It doesn't say that because it doesn't talk. But also, Shovel Knight will go on your turn. If you would like to have him go, which I assume you would.
Yes.
And he says, he looks at this creature and he pulls forth his shovel and he says, "Steal thy shovel!" And he leaps into the air, shovel point down, feet on the sides of the shovel, and impacts down on the top of this thing with his shovel. Shovel Knight rolls a 23 for his first attack and a 26 for his second attack. Shovel Knight will deal 10 points, followed by another 20 points of damage as he impacts down, bounces up, impacts down again, and then lands next to this thing on the ground.
Great job, Shovel Knight.
And he is like, "Thank you, miss." And it will go back to the top. Beauclerk, it is your turn.
Well, the thing hasn't been moving.
It has not. No one knows why.
Beauclerk is so torn. And he says, "Easy now, yes, you're halfway there. Oh, back away." And he tries to like shush him back out of the brewery. So I'm gonna assume that's an animal handling.
Yeah, let's go with that. Sure.
That is a 5+2, Ted.
Great. It's just like it seemed like you also get the feeling that it might want to move, whether it be to leave the shop or to try and eat the peppermint. But for some reason, it's as though it can't move. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, Kellum.
So because everybody's trying to get it to move, I'm going to inform everyone. Hey guys, it's in a cage and it's mined. Like it's mind cage.
You guys hear this? You don't see the cage, but it's supposedly a mind cage. So
Mine,
Yes, we're all in cages.
Mine, I was like, the bard's trying to keep it as a pet. Oh shit.
It's in a mind cage. No, maybe we can eat it.
Ned says, "Yes, feast on it, for it is the soul of Minter."
I'm just imagining them making armor out of its plating now, and just Ned in full like
Peppermint plate mail? Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
So because it is just trapped in a cage, Kelvin just approaches it and pulls out his rapier, which is very fancifully decorated on the end, by the way.
Of
and
course.
just stabs it in the head.
All right, make me an attack roll. I'm going to say it's an advantage because this thing doesn't know what's going on.
Let's see. That's going to be a 20.
Yeah, totally hits.
Woo. That is going to be 12 damage
Okay.
to its face.
You stab it with your fancifully decorated sword, and it is impacted by the sword. It doesn't seem happy, but it still seems like it wants to get that damn peppermint, but it can't move. How frustrating to be so close to that which you crave, but so far. Jitters, it's your turn.
Jitters, kind of like looking back and forth, but now that this thing's confused as well, and now that he knows it's trapped, I'm gonna stop trying to drag the peppermint to the door and just kind of push that back where he had it to start.
And it tracks you as you do it, as best it can.
I'm gonna make sure there's no new customers in the store. Hopefully there aren't.
Just Norman, and he loves every minute of this. Yes, yeah, and he's documenting it all.
All right then. Well, I'll go with the plan that we're kind of going with here. So I'll cast Prestidigitation to make this peppermint heap not smell like peppermint. I don't know. Let's make
Great.
it smell like spearmint.
Great. Close, but enough that this creature doesn't want it. All right. So you do that. What else? Let's see. Is that the end of your turn, Jitters?
Yeah, I think that's all he's gonna do.
All right, then it's Ned's turn. And Ned says, "Die, foul beast!" And he will swing at this creature, and he will hit once, twice. He only attacks twice. Never mind, don't give him a third attack. Maybe he did attack 3 times, whatever, we'll see. Much better this time, and you watch as Ned, bringing down his sword, his peppermint-coated, his blade has been enameled to look as though it is red and white striped, or perhaps it is just a very large peppermint stick that's been honed. You guys know how sharp a candy cane can get. If you suck it and pull on it, it'll get pretty sharp. So he manages to cleave through this, and the creature lets out a death rattle as it falls to the ground, and it bleeds its blood it looks like peppermint. It's right. It's red and white and green swirls, the blood that comes out of it. And he says, "Ha ha!
Does it smell like peppermint?
Well,
It
what
does
else
smell
does
like
this-
peppermint."
You just bottle that up and put it in our drinks.
That's what I was thinking. You put like a tap on it, like you put on a beer keg. You can add their own flavor to it. And
Creme
taste.
brulee.
Fucking, this is
like,
wonderful.
and he just
Creme
kind of
roulette. I love
kind
it.
of grab like chunk that got cut off and start dragging it back like towards the basement where they repair stuff.
Yeah, sure. So,
And I'm gonna say this is probably a bit heavy for his frame, but somehow he manages it because of something he does.
okay. Yeah, you
Some
guys.
builds gives him really powerful builds, so he's just like,
All right. Yeah, he is. Ned loves this. He thinks that, like, and he's like, you four, wonderful ideas all around. Creme brulee, we'll use its blood. It'll be wonderful. And he says, perhaps we can do something decorative with the skull in the bar, perhaps. That it looks, and like, you guys, like, terrifying to see and to face, but like, it also looks really cool. Like, it's a pretty cool thing, like that head on the wall. And he's like, I know a smith. This could be the most resplendent set of armor. And he looks about, and does anybody here wear medium or heavy armor?
Peters has no armor.
And he's like,
Like,
more for me then. So you guys basically do bring this thing down to the basement, and he is going to have you guys start working on setting up some sort of tap to utilize this blood. He thinks it's phenomenal. The place now smells like peppermint because of the blood spray from killing this thing,
getting in the season spirit.
except for
Gunpowder. Yeah.
and gunpowder, a little bit of gunpowder. And
Flavor.
Norman's like, they drink its blood for their fuel. This is one, and he's just writing feverishly on the.
I love the whole picture of this because the whole time there's just 8 spiders lurking around the room too.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't even think about that while this is all going on.
Talon offers the spiders coffee.
Do the spiders drink coffee as well?
Sure.
Now, remind me, and I forget, you said something about spiders drinking coffee.
Oh, spiders react to caffeine basically as if they were inebriated.
Do they? Oh, interesting. Well, there are 8 drunk spiders.
Their biology reacts to caffeine in that format.
Interesting.
You learn something new every day, folks. So there are 8.
I think
Yeah.
God.
No, go ahead.
I think Minerva looks over at Poppy, says, "Well, you know, I would never say anything bad about anyone. It's just not in my heart to do so. However, what were you doing? I know it's your first day or you're brand new or something, but if something comes in to attack your shop, you just stand there and watch?"
Penny is who you're talking to.
Penny, I just met you. I don't know who you are.
Well, the interesting part is Poppy was from the previous shift and she left.
Well, there you go.
And Penny's Penny is just like, well, I was paid to tend bar, and well, I was also looking for adventure. You all handled it so well. And she says,
That's true.
a princess you're right. I should have taken more of an active role. I am sorry.
Well, aren't you just the sweetest thing? I apologize for getting your name wrong. You're a delight. Welcome to the shop. I'm so glad to be working with you.
And she's overjoyed as well. And Princess Penelope, aka Penny, as we're calling her now, she is a princess, but she does seem to have traveling clothes. She does seem like she's experienced some things. You don't see a ton of finery about her, and she's excited to be here, and that indeed someone told her last time that her job, she'd have adventure in a coffee shop, and she didn't believe them. She was wrong.
There she is.
Yeah. So, yes, technically, Laura, Penelope is technically like level 17, but this is a different game, so we're gonna pretend that that's not necessarily the case.
You can be high level and just choose not to participate.
Yeah, right. That's you have that option.
True.
I'm level 17. I'm retired.
Yeah, I don't do this stuff anymore. All right. So I'm just trying to make sure I keep track of all donations and all of the different million notifications that I keep getting. Okay. So, yeah.
So Kellum is in the basement with the brulette. Trying, like the banana hangers.
Yeah, yeah.
Buy a banana hanger, and he's trying to construct one of those so he can take the brulette back upstairs and then tap it like a keg, and then just leave it there.
I like it.
Just tie its mouth shut, and then make a brand new sign that says, "Come in and try our brand new syrup, creme brulees."
Great. Yeah, so having become a signage expert at this point, I don't think you need to roll for that part. But for coming up with some means of tapping into this previously dead creature, that you may need to make either a survival or an animal handling or something along those lines. And if Jitters would like to assist, he's more than welcome to.
Yeah, Jitters is gonna corral the drunken spiders downstairs.
Okay.
They're experts at preserving things and tapping blood out of them.
That you're absolutely right. What a great
You're gonna
group to
start
have.
wrapping up this torch for me.
Okay, good. So what do you get on that roll there?
Animal handling 19.
Okay, yeah, you with the assistance that you've got from the spiders and from Jitters, you are able to basically come up with a presentable way to tap this brulette's head and to make this kind of peppermint, and like you've incorporated the head in such a way that it looks tasteful, but it is also basically with the tap. So like it's like a cool little piece. It's a conversation piece at the very least, but it also functions to spew forth the syrup to add to people's drinks. And if you didn't know any better, you just think this is a very colorful syrup, not the blood of a once living creature. So
true.
If we need to, we could even have like put a curtain around it so they can't see all the webbing and the dead body behind there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let it be advertising for it. Like, we killed this here. Let's be proud of it.
And Ned,
we killed.
Definitely attract a certain kind of crowd that likes to drink the blood of out here. I don't think that's normal.
Well, it's up to you guys what you decide you want to do. Ned is overjoyed. He was really down on his luck, but 6 hours ago. Now, he feels like he's riding high at this point. Things are going well. He feels like his wife might be happy with the decisions that he's made.
Do we have any like Christmas decorations?
There is some that's been up. There's garland and some Christmas balls, like ornaments and things that are up and about that the previous shift had put up.
I'm take down one of the
decorations.
Take down
Winter.
like one of the garlands and like wrap it around the body of the roulette as well, like dressing it up.
Okay,
like
nice.
Syrup Christmas tree.
Beautiful. Certain people might buy that. Most people probably won't. But it looks better than it did. So,
after that, I'll have all the spiders just kind of lurk in dark corners where people can't see them because they last for an hour.
Okay. Yeah, they've got at least like 15, 20 minutes left for sure. So, you guys have acquired security. You have stopped the thieves as well. And you have found an excellent way to get free peppermint syrup for the shop. And Ned looks at all of you, and you see, like, for the first time since you probably met him, a smile on his face. Like, it seems wrong because he just seems always so dour and just depressed. And, like, he seems genuinely happy. Like, things are looking up for Homebrew, and Minter is going to be the success that he wants it to be. And he says that he was going to provide you all with a Minter bonus. And he says, because Minter miracles are indeed a thing. And you guys will all get a 1 gold bonus on your shop, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is in the terms of, like, you have a coffee shop's wage. So, like, although, like, he didn't see the 2,000 gold gem that was thrown in the tip jar. So,
because we're all adventurers, we all get to forget that a gold piece is basically $100.
yeah, exactly. So, like, it's a big deal in and of itself, but for most people, for you guys, it's not too much. But you know, it's a decent raise. So that happens. And you guys look out the window and you see the tea shop has added another piece to the sandwich board that says, "Come try our new gingerbread tea." And he looks out there and he's like, "Damn. It's on, Bob. You wanted this war. We shall have it." And he looks about and he's like, the shop looks clean. You don't have a lot of customers. You've just got Norman, who's still there writing. But Norman seems happy. Norman orders a couple, like, over the time you guys have been here, he orders a few extra coffees throughout the day. And eventually, someone else will come into the shop. And you see they are, seems like some elves make their way, like a group of 2 or 3 elves make their way into the shop. And they ask for some lattes. And I would like everybody to make perception checks, if you could.
Okay,
What do we got?
got a nat 20.
Nice.
13.
All right.
9.
10.
All right. So, Jitters, you can see that these elves, you can see a very fine seam along the elf ear. These seem to be fake ears on these elves. So it seems like these may be humans pretending to be elves. Why, you don't know. But that's the
Just
thing.
kind of pause and stare at that for a minute. Kind of have that puzzled look on his face. Hear a voice whispering to him, and he's like, "No, no, no." And then he's gonna go check the stock in the closet because he's just like, "I don't want to deal with this."
Are you going down to the basement to see, like, where you... Because that's where the main storage is. There's... The closet that's up here is, like, cleaning supplies and things like that.
Yeah, he's gonna do some more cleaning because it's.
Okay. So you go
It's
into the
gonna fight.
closet. And in this closet, you open the door. And there is brooms and a mop, some cleaning supplies. There's also 2 dead bodies in this closet. There is a body of an older woman who you know to be Gladriel Willowfoot, another one of the workers here at the shop, seemingly mostly roasted and a burnt corpse. There is some sort of weird, disgust and pustule-ridden version of, with a look over. And I guess Gladriel you can tell from the clothing, but her head is gone.
Oh,
And there is the clothing and the sort of finery of one Dr. Thaddeus Langston, but his skin is covered with weird green pustules. And there's a couple broken glass vials, like, embedded in his chest.
oh,
And there is also the corpses of what look like 4 elderly women.
oh.
Did I miss anybody?
Just kind of like just takes all this in, kind of peeks out to where Ned's at, sees him actually being happy for once, and is like, ducks back into the closet and calls the spiders to him.
All right.
Beauclerk
like,
meanders over.
Please, take it out the back.
Yeah, you see this as well, Beauclerk, as the spiders are coming up to like start wrapping these people up with web.
Do I recognize any of these people?
You can make me. Most of them are missing heads, so you can make me an insight check though.
Insight will be a 16 plus 2, 18.
So the 4 elderly women, you could posit, having not been at their typical bridge table and their cards missing, yeah, you get the feeling that these 4 people are Betty, Mary Lou, Jane, and Hazel. And you can tell that the weird corpse with pustules all over it seems to be Dr. Thaddeus Langston, and Gladriel Willowfoot is the other one.
No, Margaret, Ginny, Todd. We can't have this. I invoke the fates to make it as though they never died.
Oh man! All right. Wow.
Oh, God.
So we can just go ahead. Oh, and there's also
Hey, can you give?
there's also Felix, the guy who you never met, who was the bartender. You're just gonna do all of them? We'll just say you can undo all of them. Yeah. So the only person who remains dead is Miriam, because she's not in there because she was dusted via a shatter spell. So I believe that puts the kill count down to 1.
Can't win them all.
Damn.
Man, this shift is just fixing all the problems.
Yes.
What I was hired
Yeah.
for.
The skull art is gone.
MVPs.
Yeah. So you see, as though like they all like in a reverse snap of a Thanos situation, you see appearing at the table with their cards as though they were there the whole time, and really only like you're having the spiders wrap these up, Jitters, but really only Beauclerk knows what really happened because he invoked the fates. The rest of you believe that they were here the whole time. So Beauclerk, you know, and you are burdened with the knowledge that some people in your shop destroy these people, and now that's all completely unwritten. So sitting here in the shop, oh, and I guess Clarence too. So you see the
So
old
many people die.
you see Betty, Mary Lou, Jane, and Hazel at the nice new mahogany table playing bridge with their deck of cards. You see Clarence.
My question,
Yeah.
since I was going to feed those to the creature that I'm bonded to as a summoner,
Mhm.
and it's a extraplanar being, would it still be aware? And is it now very angry? Or do I have indigestion?
It'd be the cock block you there, bro.
I
I am
think.
bonded to a demonic spider creature.
Yeah, let's see. So I'm gonna say no, you're not, because this power is so powerful that it has like the power level of a god, this card, to undo things like that, like to reverse time and rewrite people's memories. So I'll say, for like, because this doesn't happen, you were never aware that there were things to feed to the spiders. So behind the bar, you see a young man named Felix, suit, tie, very expert mixologist there. Aside Princess Penelope, you have 2 bartenders now. You see Clarence, the old man who is he's hitting on Princess Penelope, because you guys know Clarence. He orders a water and a beer, and he talks to everyone, and he hits on every female person that walks through the door. Betty, Mary Lou, Jane, and Hazel are playing cards with their bridge deck, which may or may not be a deck of many things. You don't know. Yeah, I think. Oh, and Gladriel, Gladriel and Dr. Thaddeus, the other 2 workers who were there previously, are back alive. And they stayed a little bit extra. They worked a double shift to cover the lack of people last time. And they basically wish you all good luck. They think you guys did a great job with this whole congratulations on your bonus. We wish we had thought of that. And they leave the end of their shift.
Have a good evening.
So,
JP, that was awesome.
wow, guys. Wow.
I gotta give you back some NPCs to work with.
Well, now the shop is full. Like, there's people in the shop now.
That the shop is full, basically, Jitters is gonna go fix up little sample sizes of that new stuff, the boulet,
Yeah.
and give it to.
Syrup.
Oh, man, that's great. And people, like, they drink it and they're like, they think that, like, whatever you did with this is amazing. Like, people love this. And now, like, people are now ordering those drinks. Like, even the people who would just get, like, black coffee or standard stuff, they want that. And Ned is just, like, overjoyed. And he's standing there, sword back in sheath. And he goes and puts the sword back in the, like, back in his shop. And he's like, I don't need a weapon now. Things are great. Uh-oh. We just got a donation. Hold on. Maybe not.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
No, I think we're okay. I don't see any... I don't see anything, so let me just check if it... Because sometimes it's wonky.
975, guys. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, guys, we are approaching that 1,100 mark, at which point everybody will gain... Levels will happen throughout the day. So everybody here will level, and then later on they will come in at higher levels, not at level 5. Okay, so I got a donation from someone who called himself Boss Man, whoever that might be, but they didn't tell me what they donated for. So I would love to know. If you guys can get at me, tell me what that is, then I can make it happen. So, okay. That all happens. Ned is so happy. He's already... you see his friend... Let's just call him Gendry, because I'm on a Game of Thrones kick today. Comes into the shop and takes the husk of what's left of the brulette to go craft Ned peppermint plate out of this armor. So he can wield his peppermint candy cane sword and his peppermint plate armor.
Yes, I love it.
And when Thaddeus leaves, he leaves on the bar 5 potion bottles, which are all labeled like, they're all labeled peppermint spice. And they are all, and each one of them is just clear, one of them is red, one of them is white, one of them is green, and then one is all 3 colors. And he says that they are fancy drink syrups as he leaves.
Fancy.
Yeah.
So we all know Thaddeus, and we all know what he makes. So Kellen looks out the window at the tea shop and grins. Like, I'm going to go make peace and grab some coffee. Like, say, 5 cups of it on a tray and pours all of Thaddeus's potions in it,
Oh,
and then
man.
walks towards the tea shop.
Okay, you
I
do.
want to go with.
Okay.
This
And-
will sweeten the pot, and I put one of those gemstones on the tray. It's time of good cheer and all that.
Oh, man. All right, yeah, you guys go across the street to go see Bob, who
And-
basically, if you didn't figure that out, basically looks like Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's what he looks like. It's also why it's the Jade Dragon Cheese Shop. But anyway, you go in and he just looks and he's like, ah, and then he sees that there's a tray with coffee, and he's like, what brings you here?
In the spirit of Minterness Eve, we're offering a peace offering of coffee for you to enjoy along with your tea.
And
Share it with your workers.
he like looks at you and he's like, And he seems hesitant, but then he sees the 2,000 gold gem on the tray, and he's like, well done. And he will take the tray and he'll put it down on the counter, but he like puts it behind the counter so that the customers can't see it. And he says, well, I appreciate this. Happy Minter to you as well. And the couple of the tea shop workers will come around and they will be like, oh, cool coffee. And then he's like, don't get too interested in this.
Yeah, Kellum is going to usher everyone outside and stand at the window to watch.
Gotcha. So they will all they'll look to you like out the window, and they will all drink. And you know what? Why don't, for the sake of fun, why don't we have all of you roll? So we'll start with you, Becca. Roll me a percentile die, and we'll go down the list, and then I'll roll one for the last one.
49.
Okay, so 49. You watch as one of them can't speak as pink bubbles come out of their mouth as they try to talk. Axel, what did you get?
Four.
Was 64? Right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 64.
You watch as a fog cloud, a peppermint-colored fog cloud, fills up this 20-foot radius inside the place, making everything all smoky and peppermint-colored. JB, what about you?
It was a D percentile, correct?
Correct.
70.
70. Okay. The whole shop becomes invisible. Everyone, the customers and the workers become invisible.
Well, how are we supposed to know what happens next?
And Mac, the next one's you.
83.
83. Everyone in the shop also takes 10 points of necrotic damage as that particular worker gains all of that in hit points. Again, everyone is invisible, so no one knows.
We don't know.
And lastly, Bob,
Fireball.
a spectral shield appears, protecting Bob as though the shield spell and making him immune to magic missile attacks. And you guys leave. And then after a minute, you hear screaming as all of the customers in the shop are dead, as they have had 10 points of necrotic damage dealt to them.
We had nothing to do with it.
They all die. So do most of the workers, except for the one who absorbed all of the hit points and Bob. They appear, seeing all of these dead bodies, and they too appear themselves.
And Kellum shouts out over his shoulder, "Merry Minter, you tea-drinking hippies!"
All right. Wow. Okay, so that NPC kill count, we're going to change that a little bit here. So let's see. Said it was at about half capacity, plus the 3 workers.
Sorry.
NPC kill count at 15.
This all started out as fun and games, and now everyone is dead. Shovel
No.
Knight, please don't let any of them come in.
Into a demon, doesn't it? Okay.
No. We had nothing to do with this. That's their shop. We're at the coffee shop. There's nothing to say that we did this.
It was Thaddeus.
Oh no, Thaddeus is alive to now be hunted down by the guard of Waterdeep for murdering 13 people. Oh my god.
Do they enjoy the gemstone?
I just look at him and go, maybe they can pay their bail with it.
Aquamarine!
Oh my god, it's great. Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds while I just, 1, process this, and 2, call my wife because I haven't eaten anything. So she's gonna bring me some food because she's great.
Good.
As a little aside, I've been on Twitter posting for people to guess what kind of die I've been using in this game, and they could win
how
the
are you?
set. So we have our first winner is Lynn Meyer. She's been following me for a really long time. Won this white and speckled set of die. So now I'm going to be putting these aside for her and grabbing another random set. So if you want to try and win a set of dice, go to Twitter. You get one vote and try to guess what kind of dice I'm using.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I've actually been using the
Thank
dice
you.
I won this channel previously.
I've got
The they're called. I think it's the wizard set. They're like a potion bottle.
Yeah.
these ones.
Unfortunately, but fortunately, we had Laura sub in the last stream. We're actually going to have Brenna, who's the brand manager for Polyhero Dice, play in the last stream. She's a good friend of the channel and a friend of mine, but she unfortunately is going to BBG, which is another convention that I don't know about, but she said she's going there, and she hadn't packed yet, and she's leaving tomorrow, so she was like, can I bail on you? So it all worked out, though.
So, Ted, can you answer me a question really quick? Was Andy in there still? Just for Laura.
He was, and he is dead. Andy got killed. Just a reviewer and a hater of Poppy's dark poetry is now dead on the floor of the J Dragon tea shop. So
There you go.
NPC kill count 15 was reset to 1 for all of 5 minutes. But folks, this is why this is what's great about charity streams is they sort of live in their own world and they can get crazy and it's fun and everybody has a good time and they don't really have to worry about like, oh, I don't know, the repercussions from the great city of Waterdeep when they roll into the actual session the following week. Like, this lives kind of in its own world, although, again, it's set in the universe as our Princes of the Apocalypse and Rise of Tiamat campaign, so things may happen that those PCs get to hear about, like this ongoing war and the weird deaths that have appeared in the Castle Ward of Waterdeep, but that's for another time. So, you guys come back and you hear the screaming from across the street, and it's like, ah! 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 As people are like, what's going on? And there's these dead bodies, and it's just like one of the tea shop workers just feels like, and he just like looks, you see him like walk out of the street, and Bob is like running around. But again, Bob looks like Uncle Iroh, but like running around in his nice calm tea shop with all of these dead people in his shop trying to figure out what to do.
You can hear them singing Holiday Cheer.
Does Bob look injured in any way?
He looks a little injured, but not too bad, all things considered.
Can I run up to him and be like, oh my god, what just happened? We were standing there, then all of a sudden it was all gone.
And he's just like, and he's flustered. So basically, this is how I would describe Bob. Picture Uncle Iroh in appearance, but Jimmy Pesto from Bob's Burgers in mentality. And like your shop is Bob's Burgers and he is Jimmy Pesto, though he is named Bob. To make things that much more confusing.
Good.
So he's got this ongoing rivalry, which is really only perpetrated by him at this point until now.
Really?
Where you guys have dealt this immense blow to his customer base and his staff. And he's shocked and he doesn't really know what to do as everybody in his shop is dead and he's trying to figure out what to do. But like as you're like he doesn't know what to do and you watch as the other shop worker comes out and you see him like looking and like flexing his hands and there's a changed look on the man that used to work in the coffee shop. And like he gets a smile across his face and he walks off down the street away from the shop. And that's the end of that guy for now.
One day he will be a lich. He's tasted necromancy.
He's received the life force of 14 individuals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That could change a lesser person, which clearly he is. So that happens. And Bob as like he's in shock at the moment, but things start to dawn on him about all of this happened right after he was offered an olive branch from the coffee shop across the street, and then like it dawns on him, and he looks to you, Minerva, and he says, you and your coffee drinking scoundrels did this to me and my shop. What have you done? He says this, and again.
I understand in times of mourning, it's easy for us to try to blame other people for things that have happened. We all want to place the blame somewhere. I'm telling you, we're just as surprised as you are. Who wants to hear screaming in the middle of their work shift? We're so distraught.
And he's just like, I don't know how you did it, but I know you had something to do with this. Things were fine. Everything was good. You offer me coffee as an olive branch, and then someone is breathing bubbles. Everyone goes invisible, and then they all die. I can't imagine that I can't prove that you did it, but I know in my heart of hearts that you are tied to this in some way. And just trust me when I say, this is not the last you've heard of Bob.
Could it have been the gingerbread? Sweep, sweep, sweep.
Dying over at our shop.
And he's just like, I feel like there should be a different response, but you're right, not yet. I guess this is not the last you've seen of Bob. And he shuts the door in your face.
Thank you for coming.
Hey, have a nice day.
So
He seemed nice.
Callum is just standing where Bob can see him out the window and just smiling and waving.
Were there any other witnesses, or are they all?
there's the guy who walked down the street.
Well, he won't be a problem. Well, he'll probably be a problem, but he won't be a problem for us.
That's fair.
Exactly.
So again, Ned is just like, he's walking on sunshine right now, right? He's whistling Christmas or minter carols about the shop, and he's just like checking on everybody at all the tables, making sure like everybody's doing okay. How's their service? Are they enjoying the peppermint lattes and the new peppermint syrup that they've got? And he's just having a good time, and he's like, this is wonderful. Felix and Penelope, or Felix and Penny, are working out great as bartenders. Also, Hunter's been there the whole time. The teenage kid who wants to like try out his music career, but he like so much has happened that he's just kind of like hung out and worked the register for a little while, like not doing anything.
Come on, Hambone. Why don't you play something? I hit Hunter on the back.
All right, he's like, well, all right. You didn't have to like. Nobody has to tell me twice. And he like gets up, and like there is no stage. So he'll like take like a crate and like set a crate down over by the fireplace and stand up on the crate. And then he will pull out a yarding, which looks similar to a guitar. And he will try to play. And he will get a natural 20 on his performance check.
Yeah, he will.
And like he like starts playing, and like you could tell like his vibe is like metal and like guitar riffs and like serious like fret work. And he like starts playing kind of like, imagine if you will, an inverse of the end of Back to the Future 1, where he starts off with like metal and then realizes that nobody wants it, and then he like picks up on what's going on and he just starts playing like minter carols. And Ned is just like overjoyed. And, like people are kind of like moving along with the music and things. They seem to be picking it up what he's putting down, and he's just like, all right, like he's all right, okay, yeah, all right, this is how this is work, and he's good. It's good. So he's jamming out, and like now there's a nice soft like non-specific to a song, but like a Christmas carol type Christmas song background loop happening throughout the shop. The fire seems to be warmer. Everyone seems to be happy as they are drinking of their peppermint drinks. Really, Shift number 3 today. Bringing it home. So, all of this is going on, and things are going well. And eventually, after a little while goes on, you hear like a... And you see that the espresso machine, one of your coffee machines, is broken. Probably because just the sheer amount of drinks you've had to make. It's almost as though this machine hasn't been used in at least 6 hours. No one's been making any drinks with it. And now all of a sudden, there's a ton of drinks to be made. And the machine breaks. Perhaps it was too old. Perhaps it's overuse. Perhaps trying to put brulette blood through the machine doesn't really work so well. So things are clogged. It wasn't designed for viscous material.
Fair enough. I'm a tinkerer of sorts. I will look into this.
All right, you can go ahead and make me a
It
tinker
can't be
check.
much more different than a gun.
We'll see.
You want a tinkerer's check?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Would you like sleight of hand or just flat intelligence?
Let's go intelligence with your proficiency bonus, because you're proficient in Tinker's tools.
I am. So that'll be a 16.
All right, so you are working through it, and you manage to get enough to get, like, you get another drink out of the machine, and it seems to be okay. But it seems like it was only, like, a temporary fix. So someone did come up and ask for a drink, and you managed to get them what they wanted. But then the machine kind of breaks down again. Like, you just had things jiggled in just the right way. And then basically once the liquid had passed through and stopped, that void of liquid kind of breaks the machine. And Ned, a cold, like the door blows open and like a cold breeze comes through and like blows through Ned's hair. And he looks and he's like, no. Not again. And he just like, he seems like that look of someone who had been broken seems to take over him, and he looks to you and he says, I hope this machine shoots coffee at people. Yes, and yes, to your point, Renee, a lot of these new social media selfies with the new stuff has done wonders to draw people to the shop. Also, now, for real, the Jade Dragon Coffee Shop can be known to murder innocent people for just being in the shop. Doesn't do well for business. So, he tells you that his supplier is down in the dock ward, not too far from here. And he will send a raven, of Thrones again, to them to let them know that you are on your way to pick up a new espresso machine. And he says between himself, Hunter, Felix, and Penny, there should be enough people here, and Shovel Knight, unless you bring him with you, which is fine if you do, will be enough people to hold down the shop while you guys go and retrieve the new espresso machine.
Shovel Knight can stay here. I'll just bring Barry.
Okay, you bring Barry, your diminutive fanged manservant, and he will actually tell you that he does have like a hand pullable cart, like out back to put the machine in if you need to, you know. Cause he like looks at everybody and he doesn't see anybody seemingly overly physically strong like on other shifts, and he says it could be a little bit heavy, and he says I'll work on getting the old one removed while you're gone so we can just bring the new one in and hook it up.
Actually, do you think you would like 2 in the shop? Because I think I can fix this.
And he says, well, I mean, I'll move it off to the side for now. And if you can get another one, we get 2, that's double the output. We can hire more people. Things are looking up for Homebrew. Seriously, forget 2 gold bonus for all of you. Not just 1. You guys are on a roll here today.
So before
I
we
feel
leave,
as though you're doing wonders for... I feel as though in another life things were much more dour and they seem much better now. Thanks to you all.
I have that strange feeling too.
It's a weird deja vu thing.
So before we leave, like Kellum just wanders over to it and like caresses the machine and hums to it and casts mending.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So it'll probably take more than a singular casting of mending to fix it, but like it seems like with enough time between you and Bo Clark working together, both mechanically and magically, you probably can bring this thing to where it needs to be. Um, but yeah, he says,
Burkloak pets it and then gives it a loving little kiss. I'll be right back. We'll get you working soon, darling.
all right. So you guys,
We choose to go fill up a thermos for the road.
okay, very nice. You do, yeah. And he's like, yeah, by all means, you know, you are all more than welcome. And he will actually be like, and he'll like whisper low key to the four of you, and then also like let Felix and Penny know that drinks are on the house for you four today. So if you want a little something stronger than coffee for you four, everything, or if you'd like to make like a mixture of like a special coffee, right, like a bourbon coffee or whatever kind of thing you want
Yeah,
to
just
make,
put a little splash in this this insulated cup.
that you guys have, sure. Why
Kellen
not?
just takes a water skin full of vodka and stuffs peppermint sticks into it to make peppermint schnapps.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. When you get back, and like, believe me, if you share that with Ned, like you guys forget it. Better just fire everybody else. This is the A team here.
For management.
Yeah. You guys, everybody here now assistant managers.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when you get back. So yeah, he basically sends you guys out to go retrieve the new espresso machine, so that one, you'll have this while you guys are fixing the other one. You'll still be able to provide what you need to. So you guys set out into, as it's now about almost 6 p.m. here in the city of Waterdeep, and it's starting. The sun has begun to set, if it hasn't set already. There's a little bit of a chill in the air as it's later in the year, but between the alcohol and the coffee you have with you, you are warm and content as you make your way down the street with your cart to pick up this new espresso machine.
Well, as we're going, Kellen is doing something because he doesn't like the tea shop. He doesn't want it to come back. So he starts a whisper campaign with people on the street. It's like, did you know that tea shop killed people with their tea? You should spread that around.
Gingerbread.
It was the gingerbread. Listen to the big lizard person. He never lies. But they kill people with their tea. It's horrible. Don't go there. You should tell your friends.
We
It's
were
like
working, and then we just heard screaming.
the entire shop just disappeared, and then so many dead bodies everywhere, all covered in tea and gingerbread.
Oh, well, looks
And
like
I think the person that did it went walking down the street afterward. He had a really weird smile on his face, too.
Mm-hmm. And
It
he was an
all-
employee of the tea shop. And he was Bob's best friend.
Have you ever heard of such a
Filled
scandal?
with vim and vigor, though. Kind fan, I'm sure.
All right. So basically, I don't know how. Describe to me how this down the street working to a goal whisper campaign works. Are you stopping? Because the way I'm imagining this, and if I'm wrong, tell me. But I'm imagining basically like the kill the beast scene of Beauty and the Beast, where Gaston's running around and getting everybody into this, working them up into like a fury about the tea shop, but it's like mixed with singing and music as he's like bringing more people in to like take down this tea shop is awful. And I'm going to, what's your charisma modifier, Kellen?
My charisma modifier is 4.
Okay, so using, well, one, I'm going to count this as a enthralling performance per your bard ability.
Yeah, the glamour.
But
Actually,
you all, yeah.
I went up I have mantle of majesty too. So
Yes, I was going to ask, are you going to use this ability to command people to do things as well?
yeah. We can
And
do
what
it.
are you commanding them to do?
Spread the rumors, gather the people, tear down the tea shop.
The truth.
Yes. All right, so this happens. You guys are inciting this anti-tea shop riot as you make your way towards the dock ward to pick up your new espresso machine.
Jitters
So,
won't like actively engage people, but he'll cast message and just whisper messages to people as they're going. He's too nervous to actually approach people, but he'll be like across the field.
all right. So, this is happening as you guys are heading down the street, and surprisingly, without much coaxing, most of the people that you talk to, they do seem to jump on board with this. And and you see people are like whispering, talking to each other, and they all seem to set out with purpose towards the tea shop. So,
This was a great prank. Good fun, gentle ribbing, all that.
Sure.
Forgive me, Lathanda, but I can't go to prison.
Oh wait, it's not us doing it. It's the people. Let the people speak.
Okay. So all of this happens. Oh.
No.
All of Waterdeep rises up against the tea shop.
That is sort of what it's looking like, yeah.
Well, we've been making our way though. Jitters got a bit of a chill and drank some of the thermos and failed the Constitution save, so he is inebriated.
There you go. All right. So,
Coffee has an alcoholic effect on him too.
there you go.
Callum will say that think that he's done a good job and drink some peppermint schnapps and offer some to Minerva.
Yeah, okay.
Your breath smells really good afterwards.
Mm. Mhm.
Is that another donation that just came through? Let us find out. I think it is.
Very close.
Let me see, because I don't see anything tied to it specifically. $9.95, guys. By the way, let us see. Did we get a new? Does it have anything tied to it? Nope, does not. So we've got 2 recent donations with nothing tied to them. So, yep, Sean D donated $20. Didn't say what for. Boss Man donated $25. Also didn't say what for.
Appreciated regardless.
Yes, we absolutely do appreciate this, folks. This all goes to a good cause. It's also a charity, right? You know, you guys can write this off on your taxes as a donation to charity come tax season in April. So, all good things. But if you wanted to impact the game, we won't know unless you tell us that what you want to happen.
Evil head, come on, guys.
Yeah, right?
Beauclerk needs an evil head.
Okay. So, you guys make your... What the hell is that thing? No idea. That's dumb. I don't want that. So you guys make your way to this shop, the coffee, the industrial supply shop that has all manner of different industrial tools for cookware. It's basically a restaurant supply store. And let's see here. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Is that evil? Let's hope that that's evil. Or not. If not, we're just gonna make it evil. Okay, yeah, let's go with that, sure. You guys make your way into the shop, and you see the owner there. Owner's name is Bertram. And Bertram says, I got Ned's Raven. I assume you're here for the coffee shop? The coffee espresso machine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Great. He goes, it's just around back. There's a warehouse. You guys, it's been moved out towards the front. You guys just go take it, and we're all squared away.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys go towards to get this thing, and as you make your way towards the back door of this warehouse, as the roll-up door rolls up, you see a strange creature floating on the air as it makes its way towards you. It looks, as you look up, it looks to be about the size of a man, and it seems almost hard to see amongst, or it stands out in some ways in the night sky. It's white in coloration as it moves in towards you. What's up?
Because you all see that, right?
Yeah.
Just me?
And you watch as this creature looks down upon you. Like, part of it seems to look down, and it seems to be some sort of a head. And you watch as a beam of light shoots forth from its mouth towards all of you. And I would like everybody to make a Constitution saving throw. All right, go through the list. Minerva.
4.
That's a fail. Jitters.
21. Even with
All right.
minus 2. Nice.
That's a pass. Beauclerc.
A 4 as well.
All right, and Kellum.
18 plus 2, 20.
All right, so Jitters and Kellum will take half damage, and the other two. So Beauclerc and Minerva, you guys each take 33 points of radiant damage. And
I fall to the floor.
and then Jitters and Kellum, you will take 17 points
Ow.
of radiant damage. And I guess I should ask, none of you are shape changers, correct?
No.
All right, then you don't have to transform back to your regular form. And this thing descends down, spiraling, almost as if like a sail type creature. I will need everybody to roll for initiative. Minerva, you have to roll anyway, just in case.
Just in case.
Well, death saving throws will happen.
Yes. Ugh.
All right, Minerva, what you get?
5.
5. Jitters.
17.
Beauclerc.
16.
And Kellum.
16
16. And this
Us.
thing,
Well,
plus 4.
this thing got a 22. So it's its turn. Does it get its thing back? It does. Interesting.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, why would it? It descends down, we'll say, to within like 15 feet or so, still staying in the air. And it's gonna unleash its little beam thing again. So, having this had happened, would you guys have stayed in your little formation, or would you have spread out as it was descending down?
Callum would have moved out of the way.
Jitters would have staggered around a bit.
Okay. Beauclerc?
Beauclerc would have picked up Minerva and said, "No, Minbun!
All right.
Shake, shake, shake."
So let's see. Let's just roll. We'll make it completely random. All right, and it's going for Jitters. So Jitters, I would like a con save from you as it leashes another beam of moonlight energy.
12 this time.
All right. So you, my friend, are gonna take 33 points of radiant damage from that attack. And you do not have to revert to a form you don't have.
Exactly enough to put me at 0 after the second hit.
All right, you watch as Jitters falls unconscious as well, Beauclerc and Kellum.
No,
You tough
Jimmy!
for giving me 50 HP as a caster.
Hey, not a bad thing on a normal day. Jitters, it is your turn. So I would like you to make me a death saving throw, DC 15.
That's a fail then.
So one fail for Jimmy, as a boat clerk would say. Then, boat clerk, it is your turn.
What an interesting position we find ourselves in. Do I know what this creature is by chance?
You can make me an Arcana check if you'd like.
I'm actually very skilled in Arcana, and I will be using my reroll for my first natural one.
There you go.
And that will be a natural 20.
That is a very different number.
25.
All right.
Oof.
This creature, you know, to be a moon drake, right? It's some sort of dragon-esque creature. Has power over lycanthropy and lycanthropes in general. Has the ability to sort of turn ethereal and transmute itself into moonlight energy and move about. Typically not overly cruel creatures, but for some reason this one is after you. You don't know why.
So I'm not going to be making a check with this. I'm going to use my check to try and assist Minbin or Minbun, whichever you prefer.
Sure.
But I'm going to scream out in Draconic, "No, brother!" I'm going to roll a medicine check on Minerva.
All
To
right.
try and stabilize her. That's my intent anyway.
Let's get a medicine check.
I am aptly skilled in medicine, and that is an 18 total.
All right, Minbun, you are stable. That's fine there. Then it is Kellum.
Okay, so I'm going to. Is the coffee machine's near us, right?
Yes, you can see it. Yeah.
It's rather big, so I'm going to duck behind it and say, "Look away, everyone," and cast hypnotic pattern.
Okay. Beauclerk,
If
you can hear this. The other two are unconscious, so
So it needs to do a wisdom saving throw.
Look away from what?
oh no.
No, I look away.
That is what's your save? Ooh, save.
15.
That's a 14, so it will fail.
Okay, so it is charmed, and while charmed, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
Like a duck hunt duck, just into the ground. So that happens.
Yeah.
Combat is technically over at this point. You have a bleeding out Jitters and an unconscious Minerva.
Mm-hmm. Jitters gonna roll his death save.
Yeah. Are you gonna try to stabilize Jimmy or no?
I am.
Okay,
he
yeah,
goes before me.
Yeah, go ahead there, Jitters.
That's a 17.
All right, that's a pass. So, yeah, we're out of combat, so initiative order is kind of dissipated. So if you guys want to do anything, now's the time.
23 medicine on Jimmy.
Jimmy, you are stable too.
Yay.
Jimmy, my sweet boy.
Kellum is going to, while still concentrating on the Moondrake, going to take some rope he has and begin tying it up so it can't get loose.
Okay, you do that. And you can see that conveniently right here, if so needed, nearby there's a river nearby running through the city here as well, down by the dockboard. Kind of an outlet that leads to the main Sea of Swords.
True.
So,
And look at the Dragonborn and go, "It's related to you. What do you want to do with it?"
I believe we should contact the Order of Magus and Protectors. Have them deal with it. It could be someone's pet. Or someone.
Or we could kill it and harvest its scales.
Gross.
I
I put Jimmy and Minbin in the little hand cart, and I'm like, Minbin's manservant, take them all.
All right, and what are you gonna
Start,
do with this?
heaving this giant coffee machine that I can barely move.
All right,
But-
that works.
I'll leave it
I didn't
behind.
see anything.
Well, as we leave with the cart with the two passed out unconscious people, the supplier that's running, and go, there's a moondrake back there. It's tied up. You might want to take care of that.
And he's just like,
My flesh is burnt.
All right. So that happened.
We're just saying I'm not conscious.
That's fine. You guys are unconscious in the back. You know what? As he's pulling it, Barry think better, and he will hop in and he will feed them both some of the new peppermint coffee concoction. And the coffee wakes them both up with 1 hit point.
Minerva has like a first degree sunburn.
Yeah. It's a moon burn, which you just didn't know was a thing, but they are.
It hurts. I'm peeling everywhere. What's happening?
My complexion allows me not to have that visible.
Yeah, right? That's the nice thing, yeah.
I'm gonna
No.
cast False Life on myself to get some temp HP.
Fair.
I say Minerva's gonna use healing light because she's a celestial warlock.
There you go.
And so I'm gonna use 3d6 on me,
There you go.
and then use 3d6 on Jimmy.
It
I
just
like-
reflexively cringes, but doesn't actually like stop it. Just has that like ew.
Yeah, so that's 9 for jitters.
All right.
Don't worry about me. I'm only mildly damaged.
And
So,
9 for me.
there you go.
Perfect.
And while she's doing this, Kellen just hands the water skin full of peppermint schnapps to them and goes, to numb the pain, and just lets them have it to drink.
There you go.
Glug,
It
glug,
it
glug,
is
glug, 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 glug,
it is
glug, glug.
seasonally fitting and seasonally alcoholic. Beauclerk
Smearing-
pours it on his wounds.
It burns quite a lot. Callum, why would you do this?
That's funny.
Callum cracks a smile. That's
Yes, exactly.
So you guys make your way back to Homebrew with the new espresso machine in
While we're on
tow.
our way back, I'm gonna cast Find Familiar because I'm pretty sure it died in that area of effect.
Yeah, likely.
So I'm
I'm
resummoning my
there you go. And you guys get back, and Ned is overjoyed. He's a little worried that you guys seem damaged. And he's like, "Are you all right? You seem as though was everything okay?"
What would your eyes tell you?
And he's like, like you've been better."
There was a bright light and a lizard. I didn't get to see it before I fell unconscious very much. I think it was asleep.
It was a moondrake. I
Makes more
made pretty lights in the sky, and it fell to the ground in a spiral, and we tied it up and left it.
Then he's like, "Minter brings about strange creatures."
How much
Then he
is-
stares wistfully out the window as he says it. And he shakes from that kind of, moment where he's in that kind of a mindset. And he says, "Well, new espresso machine, you say. Let's hook that thing up and get it running. And you said you can fix the old one."
Which does that
Yeah.
weigh?
But let's go to the window and see what's happened to the tea shop. Has anything happened to it yet?
You can see that,
Just touching on how much
yeah, you guys go and look, and you take a look out that window, and you can see that best way I can describe it is imagine, if you will, a zombie apocalypse. But instead of zombies, they're free-thinking individuals with some sort of stirred up vendetta that they don't know why they really have it. And there's one man fending them off from the door. The windows are like boarded up with tables, and you see Bob in the inside, like trying to like hold the table up and like get them away out the like over the glass as they're like trying to get in. You see like a Molotov cocktail make its way through the window and splatter on the inside, fires and then going in there.
Somebody called Mob.
Yeah.
Beauclerk goes outside
And
and he's like, "Stop that! Just stop that!"
Minerva, Jitters, go get him. And I just
Bob!
and I just pat Ned on the shoulder and go, "Happy seasons."
And like he looks a little upset, but he's been through so much that he doesn't know he's necessarily been through all of it, but he has been through a lot of it. And he's like, and he stands there, and he's like, "It seems the war is over." And he's like, free one round of peppermint lattes on the house to everybody in the shop.
Yes.
Jitters is just gonna heft the espresso machine off the cart and carry it in, because if it weighs less than 300 pounds, he can carry it.
All right, yeah, he's got it. It's probably close to the end, but with a little effort, you're able to bring it inside. So that happens, and you see that Norman seems less excited about all the happiness going on as he's writing. He's penning his tale, but he's still writing in the corner there.
Norman, might I suggest you take a window seat instead?
And he goes and looks at the window, and his eyes go wide, and he's going like he's. You don't know what books he writes, or perhaps he writes under a pseudonym. But Norman here, he's got a sick sense of humor. This guy.
Norman looks out the window and the song Mob scene just starts playing.
Yeah,
in the back
right.
of his head.
He continues to write, and Beauclerk is out there at the mob trying to break it up. You can make me a persuasion check, Beauclerk.
Good. Because of my draw earlier, my persuasion is insane.
It is now, yeah. Double proficiency in it as well.
It's going to be a 19 plus 9.
Can I cast something on him? Can I cast silence on him?
You, like, as you're doing this, you're a little hard of hearing as it... And this is, like, the greatest speech to talk down a mob ever told, and no one's there to hear it.
Not to mention that silence is a 20-foot radius sphere.
Yeah, so the mob is also encompassed
Quiet.
in this. It's a quiet mob.
Can Minerva like push her way through, tap on Bob, and just be like,
And he's like, how? Oh, he's silent. He can't talk. He's like... And he's basically like, he's just like gesturing at the mob that's out the door.
Charades, anyone?
can I roll a silent persuasion?
All right, sure.
With your eyes.
Go ahead. Give me a persuasion check. We'll see what happens.
$22.
Yeah, he gets it, but you get the he wants to come out with you, but the only thing holding the door from them getting into him is him. So he's kind of the only one stopping things. So you go back out of the silence,
Shovel Knight!
and he
Come
comes.
on!
He steps out and says, "Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?"
We need to make a safe path so that Bob can get away from the mob.
And he
Can
says,
you help?
"Miss, this is right up my alley. and he like points his shovel at the sky, and like the moonlight ting off of it, and he just begins digging in the middle of the street. And for those of you who know the Strike the Earth Shovel Knight theme song starts to play, and he just begins digging at a speed that you can't fathom through the cobblestone street of Waterdeep, and he digs a tunnel underneath, and he breaks up into the tea shop. And he's outside of the zone where he comes up, and he's like, Yusa, with me! And you hear like a struggling, and he jumps into the hole, and you hear kind of making its way back. And hoisted up out of the hole is Bob via Shovel Knight. And he rises up out, and then he fills back in the hole.
I suggest you run.
And he's like, yep, and he just takes off. And he's like, no, like, this was my life's work, and he runs away.
Lathander, I helped him. Are you happy?
Yeah, you get, like, even though it's at night, and the moon is shining, and this is Selene's term, like, Selene's realm, you feel the warmth of the sun shine upon you, as you save this man who would most likely have been killed, and, like, at the way they were feverishly knocking at this door, possibly devoured. You're not really sure. Like, these people were in like a fever pitch. And yeah, Lathander, you feel Lathander's warmth about you, and you feel as though again, unfortunately at the moment you're not coming back, but Lathander would grant you basically for the next 8 days, you would have 1 inspiration, and starting right now as well. At the start of every day, granted to you by Lathander himself. Yes, and to the people, yeah, it is basically an Independence Day level speech that Beauclerk was giving to these people that no one heard.
This is not a Waterdavian holiday.
Yes, exactly. So... yeah, you have saved Bob. The tea war is over, so scratch that off of the 7th shift's event, because that was going to be a much bigger part of it. That has ended. That's okay. Listen, we've got other things we can throw. I have a list of supplementary injects that weren't part of the list.
Good.
Well, also, like, I was like, oh, this is great. All of the shit that I was going to have to deal with will come back later, but most of it got wished away. So, perfect use of that card.
Rise from the ashes of failed plans.
Hey, listen, this has been what I expected for this type of stream. The wishes make things disappear. All right, yeah. So you guys come inside, and then Beauclerk and Kellum, you are going to repair the other. So I can get a Tinker's check from you, Beauclerk, as Kellum casts his mending spells.
We wanted that to just be intelligence plus proficiency.
Yeah.
23.
So yeah, with the next part of, like, we'll say a half an hour, and Minerva and Jitters, you can take a 10-minute break, which counts as a short rest on your shift, so you can heal up or get spells back or any of that kind of stuff. You guys are able actually to repair the old espresso machine. So now you have double the espresso machine capacity than the previous shifts had. So Ned is just, he's so happy. And he's like, he's overjoyed and excited with the fact that he is leaving. Like, this is the end of his shift. And, like, at the end of your guys' shift, his wife is coming in to take over the next shift. And he's pumped because she's going to be so proud of him. And he is not letting his family down. He's doing right by her, and he is very stoked about it.
Good.
So, yeah, let's see, what other things do we have going on? You guys, why you guys got so much hate against Ned, chat?
That's great.
He's doing his best.
He's wonderful.
He gave us bonuses.
Peppermint King.
He is the Peppermint King.
At this point, yes.
He will be. Let's see.
The King and the Mint. Nah, it doesn't work.
Working on it. Working on it. We'll get there. So, all the while, everybody seems to be jamming down to Hunter's his minter vibes of his Christmas Carol style jams in the background. People seem to be on board with that. It seems to really fit the atmosphere that you guys have cultivated for this shift. So he says, he tells Ned, like, he'll stay on for another shift and keep this going. People are really digging it, and he's not too tired of plucking away here, so he's going to stay on for another shift to keep the vibe going. And, you know, everybody is clapping, right? Clarence has summarily been spurned by Penny, who doesn't want to listen to this old creepy man hit on her. Norman is still writing with a whole bevy of new material. And at this point, yeah, you see there's those strange humans that were posing as elves for whatever reason. They're still here. And they're in a corner, kind of talking in whispered tones to one another. You're not really sure what that's about. Not a burglar, just my wife.
Can I use prestidigitation to cause this whatever seals their ears on to loosen or like?
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So I'm just gonna start prestidigitating their ears off because Jitter's drunk and bored.
You watch as the ears begin to, like, one of them falls off and hits the table, and they're like trying to put it.
Just kind of smiling and chuckling to himself like a little.
And they're trying to put it back on. You really don't know why they'd be attempting to do this. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But at this point, you watch as Clarence, the old man,
Problematic.
gets up from the table. And he walks over to you, Callum, and he says, I don't like you. And he gestures over his shoulder to Norman. He says, my friend, he doesn't like you either. Norman's not paying attention at all. He's not involved in this at all. And he says, you think you could just walk around here like you are, fixing coffee machines, and just get away with it? No one's gonna say anything to you about it? Well, you, sir, I don't like the cut of your jib, and I challenge you to a duel. Right here, right now. And Ned's like, no? And he's like, fine, in the street.
Okay.
And he's like, and he gets up.
Do it to let the mob watch.
We can give them some free samples.
And he waits for you out in the street. And you see, as you get outside, from like the bushes in the front, like he pulls out like a spear and a shield. And he's an older man, and he's like, are you ready, Sonny? For the wrath of Clarence?
Okay.
Alright, go ahead and roll for initiative.
When they start doing this, Minerva starts going out and walking around kind of the streets nearby, going, duel starting in a few seconds! Get your coffee! Sit down! Grab a window seat!
Hey, buddy.
Dad.
Yeah, what's up, bud? Oh, thank you. Oh, this is great.
Dad.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, you want to listen to what's going on right now? How's it going? No? Okay. Yeah, we've been playing for a long time. So, okay, you guys begin. Thank you for all of the food play. I really do appreciate it.
I got you a couple pieces of pizza for your midnight
That's
snack.
hashtag best wife. Hashtag Minter Miracles. So, okay, you begin to gather a crowd to to observe, like, now that there's no reason for the mob to be attacking the tea shop anymore. You guys gather them all to get coffee to come and observe the duel between Callum and Clarence. So, business is booming. For those of you asking, I guess this is sort of my lunch / dinner.
I figured you didn't eat.
I had like a cheese stick and some cough drops so I don't lose my voice. Callum, you can make me an initiative roll, please.
Okay. I got a 15 plus 4, 19.
All right, so you're gonna beat Clarence on initiative. Shocker. So go ahead.
I don't think I used the enthralling performance.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna try one thing first. I'm going to cast Tasha's hideous laughter at him.
Okay.
So
Oh, natural one. So he fails.
he fails. So he's now laying on the ground laughing.
Laughing incessantly.
Uh-huh.
He's still got his shield and his spear, and he's rolling around laughing. And the rest of the people are like, "This isn't a duel, boo."
And then I'm going to use as a bonus action the Mantle of Majesty.
Okay, which does what again?
Basically, as a bonus action, you cast command without expending a spell slot. I take on appearance of an unearthly beauty for 1 minute or until my concentration ends.
Okay.
So basically, I cast command on him. Any creature charmed by you automatically fails its saving throw against the command cast with this feature.
And what is the command? Gotta be a one-word
Stand.
command.
Dance.
He gets up and he's laughing, and he's doing his best with gut-wrenching laughter to dance. It's a horrific sight. And he's like, he's old man dancing, attempting to, while busting out laughing. Okay.
That's what you get for being a creep.
And he's just like, he can't. And on his turn, he can make a wisdom save at the end of his turn or start of his turn for the Tasha City's laughter.
Let's see.
Leave
At
it
the
to
end. Yeah.
The end.
hmm
So he dances and laughs, and at the end he makes a 6. He's still dancing and laughing.
And I believe.
So I think he has to stop dancing now, but he's still laughing.
It's for 1 minute I can use it.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
You can cast command as a bonus action on each of your turns without expending a spell slot. So as long as this lasts,
you're
I
gonna
have
keep
command.
making him dance. Okay.
No, I'm going to make him leave.
So he laughingly, doing his best, he laughs away.
Crawling,
Laughing, thinking this is the funniest thing, and he can't do anything but crawl away. And for like the next few minutes, as long as he can hear you, this is what he does.
Waving goodbye. Now it's unclear. This like weird hand.
I was like, is he flopping?
Yeah, you're not sure what's going on, but he is utterly and like completely humiliated as he leaves.
Penny won't miss you.
And he just is laughing, a little bit of crying, but mostly laughing as he walks away. And there, folks, was the Jack of Spades, the one random NPC hates you. that Kellum pulled, and that is now all of the deck of many things, with the exception of Beauclerk's I think it's Beauclerk's castle.
I still have the vizier, I have the throne, and I have gemstones
Gotcha. Okay.
remaining. Comet failed and already used fates.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, so you're basically the only thing that's kind of outstanding is you have this keep somewhere filled with monsters that's yours to claim.
Mm-hmm.
See, in previous 24-hour streams where they not set in a singular shop, that was the adventure then turned into let's go get my keep.
I figured that's what we do when we got off work.
Yeah, exactly.
Come and help me free my keep.
And as this guy leaves, I yell out to the mob and the crowd, "Come on in for coffee at the Homebrew. Wonderful peppermint. You'll be amused as hell the entire time. Trust me."
All right.
How much is a cup of coffee here?
I don't know. I mean, like a higher end cup that's not just black coffee. We'll call it like, I don't know, a silver piece, maybe. That's like an espresso or a fancier latte.
So Beauclerk will yell, "The first 20,000 espressos are on me!"
The whole mob.
One of the gemstones.
The whole mob goes in for free coffee. Wow.
It's the season of giving.
And then, with a smile on his face, as these people come and patronize the shop, you see that Ned is like, "Minter is here. Hashtag Minter Miracles," he says. Why he says hashtag out loud, you don't know.
It's something he learned earlier.
It's something he learned from Lottie in an earlier session. And he's just like, this is what it's supposed to be like. This is what my vision has been. You four, assistant managers. And he's like,
Chosen.
you have been chosen, yes, to be assistant managers. You don't have to go through the training course. I've seen your skills on hand. And he like says, wait here. And he goes behind the counter and he pulls out like badges that he like assistant manager badges, and he gives you each one.
Fancy schmancy badges, I see.
How many assistant managers can you have? Probably not this many, but Ned's so happy right now.
It's for the other franchises we're opening.
And he's just like, this is assistant manager material right here. That's right. We should open
a vacancy across the street.
There's some prime real estate.
And he's like, yes, build our shop in the skeleton of our enemy. Yes, good. This is wonderful.
In the skeleton of our enemy.
On that note,
Yeah.
drop the property.
Yeah, basically, we'll say that in the next few minutes, you guys are able to, you guys take the time and go through the proper channels, make your way over, and are able to acquire this property. And he's like, well, now I guess we must build a new shop across the street and see if we cannot commission the whatever the Department of Public Works is in Waterdeep to basically close off this street, and we'll make a passageway between the two shops.
Or you could do a sky bridge.
It's like, thanks, buddy.
Skybridge with people with hands full of hot coffee.
Yes.
Nothing
And
wrong.
I think our second shop should be a gift shop.
It sells tea. I've always said it.
Gingerbread tea.
I love gingerbread. I remember hearing
the
something
mob
bad
distracted,
about it.
so on now.
Hey Wes, can I take off your coat?
Just wants to go over to the property across the street and
Mhm.
summon his giant spider monster and have it eat all the corpses of the other employees and stuff from that place.
Well,
Yeah.
we did need someone to clear it out.
Drunk.
Yeah, that's fine. You summon your
It's like a
spiders, and that works. They eat all of the dead corpses in the tea shop, and your spider patron is pleased.
Like it just webs the place up and makes it look real run down, so it's cheap.
Yeah, great. Yeah, the
It's
property.
infested with spiders. We should get it for very cheap.
Yeah, they're like when you go to basically to acquire the deed for the place, they're like, you gotta clean the spiders out yourself. That's not on us. So yeah, Ned is able to acquire this for very cheap, and construction of the sky bridge between the two will have to begin as you guys set up a gift shop across the street / maybe tea shop. We're still on jury's still out on that. Yeah, we
Gift
should open a
shop.
tea shop. That's great. Why didn't we think of that
Gotta
before?
diversify.
Corner of the market.
And he's like, you want hot beverages in Waterdeep, you come to Homebrew.
Exactly.
A bakery.
Yeah, gift shop, tea shop, bakery, and then we can serve seasonal baked goods.
And
But
he's
that
like,
will anger the Bakers Guild.
let them come.
We will
Just
build
just another angry mob away.
And he's like, once there was a rivalry with the tea shop, and we see how well that went for us.
I remember the stories of the long forgotten rival t-shirt.
And he's like, there will be a day when the Homebrew shop will fail, but it is not this day to mix genres and movie titles and things. And he says, yes, we shall have our coffee shop and tavern on this side, and the pastry, tea shop, gift shop across the street. Yes, many things, good things are coming. We are growing, and it's all thanks to you four. Do you have a name, Third Shift, that I may call you when I reference my elite team of assistant managers?
Well, that sounds pretty good to me personally, unless anyone else has some other ideas.
He's like, so you shall be named Third Shift.
No, the elite team of
Oh.
assistant managers.
Oh, the elite team of assistant... E-Tome! Yes, the elite team of assistant managers.
What about death by coffee?
And he says, Death by Coffee is another one I like. You tell me, DBC, is that your name?
Kill anyone.
I get that reference.
It was Thaddeus.
And he's like, which name shall I call you so that I know when the true A-team is on what to reference you as? And he's like, I am clearly not biased at all.
O team. It uses all the same letters.
And he's like, well, O-team, if that is what you wish to be called.
Honestly, flip a coin. Manav, I don't
They're
really
all
care
fine.
either way.
Names are ever shifting. Listen to Minpot.
So he
Who knows
looks,
what I'll be called tomorrow, even.
and he looks at you all, and he says, assistant manager is great, yes. Which two would you say are the most prominent and most influential among your group? Speak honestly, we're all friends here.
I would say that, whoa, my mind just left me.
K-pop and Hunter, of course.
That Kellum, he was the one that, shall we say, acquired the property across the street for us.
Oh, stop
It's like
it.
a mob.
You're like cleaning your deck. Oh, stop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we'll kill him, and we need one more.
I would say it's a toss-up, really, between Minerva and the shiny lizard.
Oh, I couldn't possibly be bothered for such a position.
All
Okay,
right,
Minerva then.
Let Minpot or Jimmy have it.
so
In the shadows, somewhere with a spider on his head.
Yeah, to be fair. And the spiders did take care of a lot.
So he says what it sounds like to him is that Kellum and Minerva will be managers, full-blown managers of the second shop, and Jitters and Beauclerk will be assistant managers for that shop. Co-managers, co-assistant managers, and he says that he trusts your judgment completely to hire your own staff for that shop once it's complete.
That sounds lovely.
All right.
And he says we'll have the contractors in to work on this. But he says, you know what? Take the rest of the week off while it's built.
Perfect. Hey, I know Chad's been wanting a promotion recently.
No, Chad's not. He's not put in the effort.
You know, but okay, but
He was
maybe we have
probably
to put him
there.
through
He
some
was
training.
Spoken.
He needs a lot of training. I saw those pictures on social media earlier.
All right. But we'll let him know that he was considered.
We could train him for our shop, but it would take several months.
And he's like, and he looks at you and he's just like, I mean, he was putting in the effort, but we have some real star power here. Lottie, Tinder, they've got the drive. So he goes, if you want to train him as one of your employees, I'd be willing to relinquish him.
Really, you determine your own level of involvement in these things.
Oh man, Celeste, I'm so sorry. It's only because we're such good friends that I'm playing this much with you, because this is Chad, forever employee, never keyholder, assistant manager.
Well, you could tell Ned could tell Chad next shift that after several months of training, the other crew would consider him as a assistant manager or a shift manager.
Shift lead.
There you go.
And he's just like,
recent employee.
and he's like, just wait until she gets all the Dragon Balls. Oh man. Wow. I think and he's like, yes, shift lead. That sounds like a fancy new title with no actual new responsibility. Great. This is why I chose you to be my managers and my assistant manager.
Yeah, you can give him a title that only means anything if he's on a shift with no other actual managers.
And it doesn't cost you any more in pay. It's just a name.
Never put him on a shift with any other non-actual
Seriously. Do you have any siblings that are just like you? I'd like to hire them as well.
Start them off as assistant.
Wow. So I think that's a pretty good note to end this session on. Guys, wow. Thank you so much. This was insane. Guys, we're just $5 short of $1,000 towards our 2376 goal. Dogs are going crazy for some reason. I don't know why.
$5 for the dogs. Come on.
Yeah. At 1100, which is $105 away here, we will add level ups throughout the campaign for the remaining folks here. So I just wanted to thank you all so much for coming out to play. I think I had fun. I hope you guys had fun.
Thank you for having me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad. I mean, we do these things once a year, but that doesn't mean now. And also, low key for everybody here, this is a great way for me to test how you are as a player to see if I want to invite you into more things on a regular. So, one shots are great for that. So why don't we just kind of go around the room here, and I'll get everybody to tell us who you are, where you're from, promote yourself, and whatever you're involved in. As we prep for the next crew coming in here at the 7 p.m. shift, when there also will be a change of management, and Ned will go home, and I believe my wife chose to name her Caitlin, Ned's wife, will take the next shift. Also, because of the work you guys did, there was an entire plot that didn't happen where Ned was going to get decapitated, and you prevented that from happening. So,
Thank goodness.
How it should have been.
Yeah.
Now he's just really happy.
He's so happy. He's a great family man. Life is going well, and it's all thanks to you guys. So, Becca, why don't you tell folks who you are, where they can find you, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm Becca. I can be found on Twitter and on Twitch at Becca Eckert. I am part of Fate and the Fable Maidens. We are an all-women, family-friendly comedy D&D actual play podcast. I play Merryweather. She is a gnome artificer gunsmith. It's very exciting, and that can be found across social media as at Fate FM Cast.
Thank you very much for coming, and we appreciate having you here.
Great.
Axel, what about you?
Hi, I'm Firebringer Axel, or just Axel more often, but on most social medias, you can find me at Firebringer Axel. I co-host a Twitch channel here we're kind of small, but it's called Torchbearer Gaming. We mostly just do kind of odd games right now, but I am going to be starting a D&D game with some other streamers soon. That's going to be probably weekly. It's going to be set in a kind of like gas lamp Victorian Fae-themed city. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Outside of that, I mod for a few people. I do a lot of homebrew. You can find it on WordPress at Torchbearer Gaming. Several of the classes for people in some of the other games are made by me. I made my own class, of course, this summer. One of our bards was a bard of the metal college, which gets to wear armor and use heavy metal music and powers.
Yeah, that was Poppy, the child murderer from the last shift.
That's right, Poppy.
But we'll also be coming back for an upcoming shift. I don't think it's this shift. I think it's the shift after.
Right. So no, it was really cool to actually get to meet and interact with some of the people, because I know I've interacted with both Mac and Drop the Die on Twitter and such before, and just never really gotten to talk to them. So it's been fun.
And how do you? I mean, we didn't get to do too much in the way of everything, but based on the play test so far,
the biggest things that I need to really just iron out is how the actual the big summon works, which didn't really get to come out because we didn't need it.
Yeah.
I got KO'd on the fight that we didn't have against the Moondrake.
Fair.
But for the most part, it runs more or less like a Warlock. It uses that style of casting where it gets the 2 spell slots that we come back on short rests and stuff like that. Just a very different focus rather than more offensive. It's more Conjuration and Transmutation focused. It's a little more support based, and it's basically the same concept as Eldritch Invocations, except they're more physical based, which is where he got powerful build. He had alien musculature. His muscles have been mutated by his spider god power to make him all kind of chitinous on the inside.
Very
and other such things, more physical based rather than spiritual and metaphysical.
Gotcha. Very cool. JB, what about you?
Well, I am Drop the Die everywhere. Primarily, I focus on Twitter and doing a lot of social media advertising to people. But I'm trying to break into the Twitch thing and play more games and do more stuff. I've just moved to Nevada, and just 2 weeks ago, got my desk and my whole setup going. So I'm planning on playing a lot more games in the future, but it wasn't really a good thing up until now. I've also been releasing tons and tons of supplements on DM's Guild. You can check them out. You can come over to Twitch or Twitter, hit me up. I'll send you a link, or just go type in Drop the Die on DM's Guild. I've got tons of stuff up there to check out. And I'm always open for helping people make new stuff. So just let me know whatever you need.
All right, and there will be some reviews of some of that content coming out on my channel. I have a list of reviews to do, which I'm working through, but all the new Waterdeep, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and Ravnica stuff is fresh right now. So I did reviews of the 2 die sets, but I have both map packs and both books to do separate videos on. So those will be coming out, then back to Dungeon Master Guild stuff. And Mac, what about you?
I'm maxed out on Twitter and Discord and everywhere else. I have not streamed before this, so stream virgin.
Welcome.
Yes. But besides that, I'm just professional D&D lurker. I just watch the streams and lurk.
Well, hey, we appreciate lurkers just as much as we do players and interactors. So thank you so much for being here. Oh man, my voice is really going. We'll see if I can make it through the full 24 hours and still be able to talk. So with that, I would like to thank all of you for coming out to play. I've got a crying baby upstairs, it sounds like. And I will ask you all please to step out, and then I will invite in, looks like it is going to be Celeste, Faye, Jordan, and Paul for this next shift here. And we'll see what happens at the shop for the third or the fourth shift. Can they top third shift? Who knows? We'll see.
No.
Make
Fair.
sure Ned tells Chad. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, all right, folks. Thank you guys so much for playing. Truly appreciate it.
Hi, thank you.
Bye.